With this question, I want you to remember, you are not just answering it, you are embarking on a journey of discovery and growth. Let's every correct response be a milestone on your path to excellence, and let's convert every incorrect one into the lesson learned. You're presented with the circle, which is broken down into the 8 equal parts. Each section in the circle has number inside. The numbers are 35, 47, 34, 37, 49, 68, 57, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 17, choice B, 20, choice C, 23, and last but not least, choice D, 25. Do you think it's a tough one? Rest assured, you're not trying to solve it alone. Regardless of your expertise in problem solving, I believe in your abilities. Pause for a moment, harness your creativity, and let's face this challenge together. The answer is just waiting your insightful touch. Are you ready to showcase your solution? Let's get into it, and let's see how our answers match up. Together, we will unravel the complexities of this assessment test question. I'll ask you for a favor though, and specifically to share your thought process in comments. Your insights might hold the key for all of us to learn and improve. And even if you don't have the answer, don't get discouraged. Just like every cloud has a silver lining, every challenging question carries a lesson waiting to be discovered. You will learn and improve with each question and do better next time. If you look closely at the circle, you can recognize the pattern. The numbers on the opposite side of the left-sided numbers are calculated as a product of digits of the right side numbers, minus 1. Let's look at the example. At 11 o'clock, we see number 57. 5 multiplied by 7 minus 1 brings us to 34, which is the calculated number on the opposite side. Let's apply the same principles to calculate the other numbers. 6 multiplied by 8 minus 1 equals 47. 4 multiplied by 9 minus 1 equals 36 minus 1 and equals 35. Now we can do the missing number. 3 multiplied by 7 minus 1 equals 20. So the correct answer here is choice B, 20. It might come to you as a surprise what Winston Churchill once said. Success is not final. Failure is not final. It's the courage to continue that counts. Same way is you have the power to persevere through any challenge, including this question. The key is not to give up, but keep trying. You're presented with the square, which has 16 numbers inside, and 1 number is missing. The numbers are, starting from the upper left corner, 3, 9, 2, and 4 in the first row, 4, 7, 2, and 2 in the second row, 5, 7, 2, and 4 in the third row, and then the last row contains numbers 6, 8, 2, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 2, choice B, 4, choice C, 6, and choice D, 8. Are you finding this question tricky? Well, that's the sign you're stretching your problem-solving muscles. Embrace the challenge, think creatively, and let's work through this together. I know you've got what it takes. Are you excited to share your solution? Let's roll up our sleeves and begin the comparison. Remember though, even if uncertainty looms, keep your optimism shining. Every challenge encountered, whether conquered or not, fosters growth and resilience. The pattern here is rather simple. The last 2 digits in each row are equal to the sum of the first 2 digits multiplied by 2. Let's look at the example. The first row has numbers 3, 9, 2, and 4. 3 plus 9 equals 12, multiplied by 2 equals 24. Let's look at the other rows. 4 plus 7 multiplied by 2 equals 11 multiplied by 2 and equals 22. 5 plus 7 multiplied by 2 equals 24. And then the last row, where we calculate the missing number, where 6 plus 8 multiplied by 2 equals 28. So the correct answer here is choice D, 8. Remember the wisdom of Ralph Waldo Emerson? What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. This wisdom should help us tap inside our own potential and help us solve this particular question. Let's harness our inner strength and potential to tackle this test with confidence, knowing that our capabilities far exceed any challenges that we may face. You are presented with 4 shapes. Each shape consists of pentagon, triangle, and the donut. You need to determine which shape does not belong to the sequence. And your choices are, out of 4 shapes, choices A, B, C, and D. Do you see the answer? Well, this question may not be the easiest to solve, just like a lot of things in life. But I know you have the skills and creativity to tackle it. Trust in your abilities, and let's explore all possible options. Let's tackle this as a team. Are you ready to show your answer? I have no doubts that together we can get to the right answer. And I know that you definitely gave it a try by pausing this video. Remember that every attempt, regardless of the outcome, contributes to your personal growth and development. And the solution here might be easier than you think. To solve it, you need to rotate the shapes to put them into the equal position. For example, we can use position of the shape A as a base position. And this will help us equalize all the shapes to see the difference and find the answer. We can keep shape A in the same position. All we need to do is to rotate shapes B, C, and D. And once you put all 4 shapes side by side, then you can see that the donut in the shape D is in the right corner instead of the left corner for the shapes A, B, and C. So the correct answer here is choice D. It's hard to deny what Steve Jobs once said. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is a great work. Let's approach this assessment test question with passion and commitment to excellence to make sure we can tell ourselves once we're done that we tried it to the best of our abilities. You're presented with 2x4 matrix. The matrix has 7 numbers inside, and the 8th number is missing. The numbers are 4, 3, 9, 7, 1, 1, 9, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 3, choice B, 4, choice C, 5, and last but not least, choice D, 6. Well, I'm on the same page with you. This question may seem daunting at first, but I know you have the skills and creativity to tackle it. Trust in your abilities, and let's explore all possible solutions together. Let's tackle it as a team. Are you ready to show your answer? Let's embark on this exploration journey together and compare our solutions in the end. And if doubt arises, stay resilient and do your best. Each question you attempted, regardless of the outcome, adds to your experience and knowledge bank. The pattern here is tricky, but not unsolvable. Let's look at the first row. It has numbers 4, 9, 1, and 9. We need to double 1-digit number on the left and then double it again, adding 1 to both multiplications to calculate the 2-digit number on the right. Let's look at the example. 4 multiplied by 2 plus 1 equals 9. 9 multiplied by 2 plus 1 equals 19. Now we can calculate the missing number in the second row. 3 multiplied by 2 plus 1 equals 7. And 7 multiplied by 2 plus 1 equals 15. So the correct answer here is choice C, 5. Do you remember Mr. Thomas Edison, who famously attempted to invent the light bulb thousands of times? I hope you would agree that it might be a good idea to take a cue from Mr. Edison, who also famously remarked, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time." Let's persevere through this test question, understanding that perseverance is the key to unlocking your full potential. You're presented with 3 cool-looking shapes. Each shape has 5 numbers inside. The first shape has numbers 16, 24, 8, 3, and 11. The second shape has numbers 14, 21, 7, 3, and 10. And then the third shape has numbers 27, 36, 9, 4, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 10, choice B, 12, choice C, 13, and last but not least, choice D, 17. I would agree with you. This question may not be the easiest thing to solve, just like a lot of things in life. But I have full confidence that you have all the required skills and creativity to tackle it. In fact, it doesn't go beyond the typical math. And I know that you will definitely give it a try by pausing this video. Always remember Mr. Thomas Edison's perseverance and dedication to experimentation, which ultimately led to the development of the practical and commercially viable light bulb, which we still use today. Trust in your abilities and let's explore all possible options together. Let's work on this as a team. Are you ready to show your answer? I truly hope your answer is correct. But remember, regardless of the outcome of it being correct or not, every attempt contributes to your personal growth and development. The pattern here is much simpler than you think. Instead of digits, let's add letters here, so I can reference them in the calculations. Let's add letters A, B, C, D, and E. And the pattern here is that A plus B equals C, C divided by B equals D, and D plus B equals E. Let's look at the first shape as an example. 16 plus 8 equals 24. 24 divided by 8 equals 3. 3 plus 8 equals 11. Let's confirm it with the second shape. 14 plus 7 equals 21. 21 divided by 7 equals 3. And last, 3 plus 7 equals 10. And now is the good time to calculate the missing number. 27 plus 9 equals 36. 36 divided by 9 equals 4. And 4 plus 9 equals 13. So the correct answer here is choice C, 13. To succeed with this question, one has to acknowledge what famous entrepreneur Brian Tracy once said: your attitude determines your altitude. So let's approach this question with a positive attitude and a determination to succeed, knowing that your mindset plays a crucial role in overcoming the challenges. You're presented with cool-looking shape, which has number 7 in the middle, and numbers 11, 12, 13. See the pattern? 95, 83 present. And next number is missing, which you need to calculate and select the answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 65. Choice B, 71. Choice C, 79. And last but not least, choice D, 87. Hey, I understand that you might be thinking about the complexity of this question ahead. Yet remember, encountering a difficult question in the assessment test is not just a challenge, but a stepping stone for your personal growth. Pause for a second, believe in your capabilities, and tackle this question with confidence and perseverance. Remember, we are in this together, ready to overcome the hurdle and come out more robust. Make sure you do your best trying. Time's up. Are you ready to show your answer? As you approach answering this question, remember that the journey of your self-improvement is always paved with challenges. Whether your answer is correct or not, each of your attempts make you strengthen your skills and resilience, bringing you closer to success. If you, as Mr. Tracy suggested, focus on your attitude, you will be able to achieve unbelievable heights. And your attitude should be focused on trying and making errors. In fact, the best attitude is to try to stay eager to explore and learn, recognizing that errors are stepping stones to your knowledge. Speaking about the errors, the most common mistake to solve this particular question is overcomplication, thinking that the pattern is more complex than it actually is, leading to overcomplicating the solutions. Actual solution is real simple. The numbers on the opposite sides of the shape are calculated as subtraction of digits plus 7. Let's look at the example. 9 minus 5 plus 7 equals 11. Let's reaffirm these calculations with the next set of numbers. 8 minus 3 plus 7 equals 12. To calculate the missing number, you need to realize that resulting subtraction of digits for the final number equals 6, because 13 minus 7 equals 6. And the only choice that makes sense here is where 7 minus 1 plus 7 equals 13. So the correct answer here is choice B, 71. Let's face it, with this question, it would be helpful to remember the famous quote from Thomas Edison. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. He used this quote to describe his work on inventing the light bulb. And I'm thinking, why don't we approach this question with a mindset of experimentation and resilience, knowing that each attempt brings you closer to finding the right solution. You're presented with 3 triangles. Each triangle has surrounding numbers on the outside and the number in the middle. The first triangle has numbers 1, 2, 3, and then number 7 in the middle. The second triangle has numbers 2, 3, and 4, see the pattern? And then number 14 in the middle. Then the third triangle has numbers 3, 4, and 5. Again, I see the pattern repeating. And then missing number in the middle, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 23. Choice B, 27. Choice C, 29. And last but not least, choice D, 37. I might know what you're about to say. But remember Thomas Edison. Facing a challenging question on the assessment test can feel daunting, but every obstacle is an opportunity for your growth. Take a moment to gather your thoughts, trust in your abilities, and approach the question with determination and resilience. Together, we will navigate through this challenge and emerge stronger on the other side. Time's up. Are you ready to show your answer? As you approach answering this question, remember that the journey of your self-improvement is paved with challenges. Whether your answer is correct or not, each one of your attempts make you strengthen your skills and resilience, bringing you closer to success. And what you will learn through these experiences is that a lot of times solving the challenge is simpler than you think. For example, in this question, the pattern is that the bottom numbers multiplied with the addition of top number calculate the number in the middle of the triangle. Let's look at the example in the first leftmost triangle. 3 multiplied by 2 plus 1 equals 7. Let's verify this pattern with the middle triangle. 4 multiplied by 3 plus 2 equals 14. And now we can calculate the missing number. 5 multiplied by 4 plus 3 equals 23. So the correct answer here is choice A, 23. You can't argue, but with this question, you're not just a participant. You are a maestro leading the orchestra of your own potential. Let your brilliance resonate in your answer as well to help you accomplish your goals on your journey. You are presented with 3 by 3 square. Each cell in the square has a number. The numbers starting with the first column are 57, 89, and 99. The middle column has numbers 12, 17, and 18. And then the last column has numbers 3, 8, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 7, choice B, 8, choice C, 9, and last but not least, choice D, 10. If you think it's a tricky question, you are not alone. I think exactly the same way. But fear not, you're in a good company here on this channel. Whether you're a seasoned problem solver or just starting out, I have confidence in your abilities. Pause for a moment, channel your inner creativity, and let's conquer this challenge side by side. Your solution is just around the corner. Are you prepared with your solution? I am curious to compare the notes, so I am moving forward so we can share our answers. If you look closely, you can easily recognize the pattern. The calculations here are organized in each row from left to right. Next number in the row is calculated as the sum of digits from the previous one. Let's look at the first row calculations. The number in the upper left corner is 57. 5 plus 7 equals 12. And 1 plus 2 equals 3. Let's look at the second row. Second row starts with the number 89. 8 plus 9 equals 17. And then 1 plus 7 equals 8. The third row starts with the number 99. 9 plus 9 equals 18. So to calculate the missing number, we need to add 1 plus 8, and the result of this is 9. So the correct answer here is choice C, 9. I hope you would agree with Helen Keller, who famously remarked that character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. So let's embrace the challenges of this question as opportunity to cultivate resilience and unlock your full potential. You are presented with 4 shapes. There are numbers under each shape. The first shape has number 33. The second shape has number 44. The third shape has number 55. And then comes the shape with the missing number. You need to calculate and select the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 77. Choice B, 99. Choice C, 111. And last but not least, choice D, 132. I need to remind you that facing a challenging question in the assessment test can feel daunting. But remember, every obstacle is an opportunity for your growth. Take a moment to gather your thoughts, trust in your abilities, and approach the question with determination and resilience. Together, we will navigate through this challenge and emerge stronger on the other side. Are you ready to show your answer? As you approach answering this question, remember that the journey of self-improvement is paved with challenges. Whether you answer correct or not, each of your attempts makes you strengthen your skills and resilience, bringing you closer to success. And the answer in this question is much simpler than you think. To calculate the number associated with the shape, you need to multiply the number of shape sides to 11. Let's look at the example. The first shape is the triangle. Triangle has 3 sides, 1, 2, and 3. And to calculate the number associated with triangle, we need to multiply 3 by 11, and the associated number is 33. Let's look at other shapes. The second shape is square. Square has 4 sides. 4 multiplied by 11 equals 44. The next shape is pentagon. Pentagon has 5 sides. 5 multiplied by 11 equals 55. And now comes the most interesting part. Did you know that the shape with 12 sides is called the decagon? And to calculate the number associated with the decagon, we need to multiply 12 by 11, and the end result of this is 132. So the correct answer here is choice D, 132. One have to agree with Albert Einstein, who once famously said, "In the middle of the difficulty lies the opportunity." So let's approach this assessment test question as an opportunity to push ourselves beyond our limits, embracing the change to grow and improve with each question we answer. You're presented with 4 rectangles. Each rectangle has 3 different shapes inside, and you need to determine which shape does not belong to the group. You have choices A, B, C, and D. Seems challenging, right? Well, I couldn't agree more. This question may not be the easiest to solve, just like a lot of things in life, but I have full confidence that you have all the required skills and creativity to tackle it. And I know that you definitely will give it a try by pausing this video. Trust in your abilities, and let's explore all possible options together. Let's tackle this problem as a team. Are you ready to show your answer? I truly hope your answer is correct. But regardless of being correct or not, remember that every attempt, regardless of the outcome, contributes to your personal growth and development. And now it's time to look at the answer. Each rectangle has 3 shapes inside. As you might have figured out, each shape is a different size. We're dealing with large size shapes, middle size shapes, and small size shapes. Each shape, based on the size, follows its own pattern. And remember, we definitely need to determine pattern to determine which shape does not belong to the group. Let's start with the pattern for the large size shape. In choice A, the large size shape is a triangle. In choice B, it is a square. Then it's a pentagon and then hexagon. As you can see, for the large size shape, the number of sides increases with each subsequent choice. We start with 3 sides for triangle, 4 sides for the square, 5 sides for the pentagon, and then 6 sides for the hexagon. The location of the large size shape is not important in the rectangle. And as you might have noticed, there is an opposite pattern for the small size shape. Small shapes decrease by the number of sides and can be placed anywhere inside the rectangle frame. We start with heptagon, which is 7 sides in choice A, then go to hexagon, then pentagon in choice C, and then end with the square in choice D. Medium-sized shape has a very different pattern. Medium-sized shape is always a square, and it rotates clockwise in the corners of the rectangle. If you look closely, we start in the upper left corner for choice A, then go to the upper right corner in choice B, and then end in the bottom right corner for choice C. But now you can clearly see that in choice D, the medium-sized shape is a triangle instead of the square. So the correct answer here is choice D. With this question, I would like to echo the wisdom of Eleanor Roosevelt. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really look fear in the face. Let's confront this challenge with this assessment test questions head-on, knowing that overcoming obstacles builds your resilience and your character. You're presented with 4 numbers, 17, 43, 37, and then comes the missing number you need to calculate, knowing that all 4 numbers average 30. Your choices for the answers are choice A, 21, choice B, 22, choice C, 23, and last but not least, choice D, 25. Well, this question may seem daunting at first, but I know you have the skills and creativity to tackle it. Trust in your abilities, and let's explore all possible solutions together. Let's tackle it as a team. Are you prepared to showcase your response? Let's move forward and see where it leads us. And if uncertainty lingers, stay motivated. Every effort made, whether successful or not, brings valuable insights and opportunities for improvement. And the solution here might be simpler than you think. If 4 numbers average 30, then sum of all 4 numbers should be 4 multiplied by 30 and equals 120. Which means that missing number can be calculated by subtracting the known numbers from 120. Let's calculate it. 120 minus 17 minus 43 and minus 37 equals 23. So the correct answer here is choice C, 23. It's hard to deny, but to solve this question, we need to remember the words of Confucius. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall. So let's embrace this challenge as an opportunity for growth and learning, knowing that resilience is the key to success. It is our time to demonstrate it and solve this question, learning new skills at the same time. You're presented with the equation, built with the matchsticks. The equation is not correct right now. An equation is 5 minus 3 equals 8. Your goal is to fix the equation by moving just one matchstick. Yes, just one. It seems so easy, but maybe it is or maybe it isn't. It is possible that this question may seem daunting at first, but I know you have the skills and creativity to tackle it. Trust your abilities and let's explore all possible solutions together. Let's tackle it as a team. Are you ready to show your answer? Let's embark on this journey together and assess our solutions. And if doubt arises, stay resilient. Each question attempted, regardless of the outcome, adds to your experience and knowledge bank. As I already mentioned, the solution here is simpler than you think. But to get to it, let's understand the rules of the matchstick problems. The first rule is that you cannot use less or greater signs. And the second rule is that you cannot use not equal sign. Wouldn't it be easy to just change the equal sign into greater sign and say 5 minus 3 greater than 8? or to move pretty much any matchstick and make non-equal sign, and you wouldn't run out of options. You might be asking then, what moves are allowed? And there are a few. Movement of matchsticks from digit to digit, from sign to digit, and from digit to signs. Also, negative numbers are allowed. With that in mind, let's solve this equation. We need to move one matchstick from the digit 8 to the first digit. This changes the first digit to 9 and the last digit in this equation to 6. And the correct equation here is 9 minus 3 equals 6. Admit it or not, but genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. And this is not my quote, this is famously remarked by Thomas Edison. So, let's put in the hard work and dedication required to excel in this assessment, knowing that consistent effort leads to greatness. You're presented with 3 shapes. Each shape has smiley face, arrow, and then hexagon. The 4th shape is missing. You need to determine which one to select, and select the 4th shape out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. This question may seem daunting at first, but I know you have the skills and creativity to tackle it. Trust your abilities and let's explore all the possible solutions together. Let's tackle it as a team. Are you prepared to showcase your response? Let's move forward and see where it leads us. And if uncertainty lingers, stay motivated. Every effort made, whether successful or not, brings valuable insights and opportunities for improvement. The way to solve these types of problems is to look at 3 original shapes and determine the pattern. The pattern exists for every shape inside the matrix. For example, if you look closely, you will see that arrow rotates counterclockwise. This is probably the easiest pattern to determine. But hey, there are 2 other patterns because there are 2 other shapes. For example, smiley face moves from corner to corner clockwise. And then hexagon rotates alongside the edges counterclockwise and also changes the fill from gray to white. With that in mind, let's determine the final shape. Based on our logic, the arrow should be pointing at 6 o'clock. The hexagon should have white fill and should be in the upper right corner. And smiley face should be on the opposite side of hexagon in the bottom left corner. So the correct answer here is choice A. It's hard to deny that every question holds an opportunity for growth, and we need to approach each one with curiosity and determination, knowing that each attempt brings you closer to mastery. You're presented with 3 cool-looking shapes. Each shape has 7 numbers inside. The first shape has numbers 8, 7, 2, 5, 6, 9, and then number 5 in the middle. The second shape has numbers 3, 4, 7, 8, 1, 6, and then number 7 in the middle. The third shape has numbers 0, 3, 9, 6, 2, 5, and then in the middle comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 0. Choice B, 1. Choice C, 2. And last but not least, choice D, 3. If you're like me, you might have doubts about this question. But don't worry, it's totally natural to encounter challenges. Remember though, every problem has a solution, and I believe you will find it with your ingenuity and perseverance. Let's tackle it as a team. Are you prepared to showcase your response? Let's start the discussion and see where it leads us. And if uncertainty lingers, stay motivated. Every effort made, whether successful or not, brings valuable insights and opportunities for improvement. As you might have guessed, to calculate the number, we need to detect the pattern. And pattern here is simple, but not very obvious. The pattern is that the sum of all inside numbers minus the sum of the outside numbers calculates the middle number. Let's look at the example. In the first shape, the inside numbers are 5, 7, and 9. And the sum of 5, 7, and 9 minus the sum of 2, 6, and 8 equals 5. Let's confirm our calculations by looking at the second shape. 6 plus 4 plus 8 minus 1 plus 3 plus 7 equals 7. And now we can calculate the missing number. 5 plus 3 plus 6 minus 2 plus 0 plus 9 equals 3. So the correct answer here is choice D, 3. You know, I feel just like my old math book from high school. Why did math book look sad during the test? Because it had too many problems. But hey, I have you, and together we can solve any question, even this one. You're presented with unusually looking shapes. Shapes have numbers inside. The middle number in the first shape is 17. Numbers in a circle are 4, 7, and 3. And numbers inside the large circle are 10, 2, and 5. In the second shape, the middle number is 16. The numbers in the small circle are 3, 4, and 1. And the numbers inside the large circle are 12, 4, and 3. Third circle looks a little bit more challenging, just a little, because 2 numbers are missing. But the numbers in the small circle are 5, 7, and 2, and there are 2 numbers inside the large circles, 6 and 3. And just like I said, 2 numbers are missing, and you need to calculate and select them out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 14 and 21. Choice B, 16 and 23. Choice C, 18 and 25. And last but not least, choice D, 20 and 27. You feel like you stumbled upon a tough one? Well, you're not alone. But remember, nothing is too challenging for you. You can do anything. Your answer is just waiting to be discovered. Are you ready? Let's move forward and discover the solution together. If you look closely, you can easily recognize the pattern. In fact, outside numbers form clockwise addition expression with the result at 8 o'clock. And inside numbers form multiplication expression with the result at 2 o'clock. And middle number is the sum of results of both calculations for inside and outside numbers. Let's look at the example. If you look closely at the numbers in small circles, 3, 4, and 7, you can easily see that 3 plus 4 equals 7. Let's look at the numbers inside of the larger circle. 5 multiplied by 2 equals 10. You need to move counterclockwise here. 7 and 10 are results of the calculations. 10 plus 7 equals 17, which represents the middle number. Make sure you verify the pattern in the middle shape, but I am going to switch to the third shape, which has 2 numbers missing. 2 plus 5 equals 7. These are the calculations in small circles. 6 multiplied by 3 equals 18. These are the calculations inside the large circle. And 7 plus 18 equals 25. So the correct answer here is choice C, numbers 18 and 25. You would have to agree that untangling this data analytics puzzle is like explaining music to a plant. You have to start with the roots and hope that harmony eventually grows. You're presented with 7 terms, and you need to identify all terms related to data analytics. The terms are pivot, CVS, range, query, pilot, duplicate, and pylon. Feeling challenged? And that's okay. It's a tricky question. But whether you're a seasoned solver or casual question explorer, I have faith in your problem-solving abilities. Give it the time it deserves, think outside the box, and watch the pieces fall into place. I have full confidence that you've got what it takes. Are you ready with your solution? Or at least excited for a mental workout and to learn the answer? Let's tackle this puzzle together and explore the complexities of this question. Don't forget to share your brilliance in comments. Your ideas and solution might be the breakthrough we need. Let's start with the incorrect answers. The 3 incorrect answers I identified are CVS, which is a pharmacy and retail company. The term CVS sounds similar to CSV, which is comma-separated values, and is used in data analytics. The second incorrect term is pilot. Pilot is a person who operates aircraft and spacecraft, and it sounds similar to pivot. For example, pivot tables are used in data analytics. And the third incorrect answer is pylon, which represents a tall structure used to support something such as bridge or power lines. And it sounds very similar to Python, which is the language that is used in data analytics. And now let's look at the correct answer. The first correct answer is pivot. In data analytics, a pivot refers to reorganizing and summarizing data to gain insights by changing the perspective or structure of the data set. The second term used in data analytics is range. In data analytics, range typically signifies the difference between the highest and lowest values in the dataset, providing a measure of dispersion. The third correct answer from my standpoint is query. In data analytics, a query is a request for specific information from a database or dataset, often expressed in a structured query language like SQL. And last correct answer, I believe, is duplicate. In data analytics, a duplicate refers to identical or replicated records within a dataset, which may need to be identified and managed for data quality and analysis purposes. Are you in agreement with my version of the answer? Please make sure to post your answers and solutions in comments. I hope you would agree to try to imagine this question as a stepping stone across the river of challenges. With all of your efforts toward the correct answer, you're building a bridge to the island of your triumph. You need to determine the smallest answer among 4 possible choices. Choice A, 2/5 plus 3/4. Choice B, square root of 4 minus 0.75. Choice C, 1.2 plus 1/8. And last but not least, choice D, 2/3 multiplied by 2. Well, guess what? I'm on the same page with you, and I also think it's a tricky question. But remember though, you are not navigating this path alone, and I'm here to help, as well as other subscribers on this channel. Whether you're a problem-solving expert or a newcomer, I have full faith in your capabilities. Take a moment to gather your thoughts, tap into your imaginative side, and let's triumph over this challenge together. Your solution almost ready and definitely within reach. Are you ready with your solution? I am eager to see it, so let's proceed and compare the answers. The best way to solve this challenge is to solve it for each expression and convert the end result to decimals. Let's start with the first expression, 2/5 plus 3/4. 2/5 equals 0.4. 3/4 equals 0.75. 0.4 plus 0.75 equals 1.15. Now let's look at expression B. Square root of 4 minus 0.75. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 minus 0.75 equals 1.25. Let's go to the choice C. 1.2 plus 1/8. 1/8 equals 0.125. 1.2 plus 0.125 equals 1.325. And in choice D, we have 2/3 multiplied by 2. 2/3 multiplied by 2 equals 4/3, and 4/3 equals 1.33. Since number of digits after decimal point goes into infinity. So let's summarize what we've got. For choice A, we got 1.15. For choice B, the result is 1.25. For choice C, 1.325. And last but not least, choice D is 1.33. So the smallest result is 1.15, and the correct answer is choice A, 2/5 plus 3/4. In this section, we will look at numerical reasoning test questions frequently used in a test. Numerical reasoning assessment test is a standardized evaluation designed to assess individuals' ability to understand and work with numerical data, make calculations, interpret charts and graphs, and draw conclusions from quantitative information. The typical content of numerical reasoning test can vary, but often include topics such as basic arithmetic, percentage and ratios, data interpretation, financial analysis, mathematical problem solving, number sequences, and a lot of others. Let's look at some sample numerical reasoning assessment test questions we typically see on the test. What's interesting about this problem is that it seems unsolvable, but if you make one correct assumption, it's so easy to solve it. You're presented with the shelf of items from the coffee shop, and the items are cupcakes and cookies. There are 3 sets of items, and 2 sets have price tags associated with them, and the last set does not, and you need to calculate the price tag for the last set. The first set consists of 1 cookie and 1 cupcake, and the price tag for the first set is $7. The second set consists of 2 cookies and 1 cupcake, and the price tag for the second set is $12. The last set consists of only one cupcake, and you need to calculate and select price for the cupcake out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, $5. Choice B, $4. Choice C, $2. And last but not least, choice D, $3. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Did you figure it out? It seems unsolvable, but the only thing you need to make is one assumption. And using this assumption, I'm going to move forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Take a close look at the first set. The first set consists of cookie and cupcake, and it costs $7. What's interesting is that the second set already includes the first set plus the cookie, which allows us to calculate the price of this extra cookie. And we can do it by subtracting 7 from 12, and the end result of it is $5, which means that the price of cookie is $5. Now we can easily calculate the price of cupcake by subtracting 5 from 7, which means that the total price of cupcake is 2. So the correct answer here is choice C, $2. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. Here's a very interesting problem which shows how well you can do mental calculations. It will take another 5 minutes for the clock to strike 4 o'clock. How much time is left until the clock shows 4:45? You're presented with 2 clocks. One shows 5 minutes before 4 o'clock. Second one shows 4:45. And you need to select the answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 11 hours and 50 minutes. Choice B, 12 hours and 10 minutes. Choice C, 11 hours and 10 minutes. And last but not least, choice D, 10 minutes. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And if for whatever reason you think the answer should be different, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. Let's first determine how much time is actually on the clock. Based on the description, it will take another 5 minutes for the clock to strike 4 o'clock, which means that the clock now shows 3:55. Our next described point on the clock will be 4:45, which could be represented as 15:45, and clock will reach this point after around 12 hours to show 3:45 again. In the military time, which is frequently used in US, it's going to be 15:45, and it's going to be a little bit less than 15:55. Let's determine how much less than 12 hours it's going to be. Since the clock already passed 10 minutes from 3:45 to 3:55, it will take 10 minutes less than full 12 hours. This is why we can subtract 10 minutes from 12 hours to get to the answer of 11 hours and 50 minutes. So the correct answer here is choice A, 11 hours and 50 minutes. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Here's an amazing problem where you need to exercise your brain and cognitive skills by calculating not just one number, but 2 numbers. You're presented with the scale, and you see that the value of diamond as well as the sum values are missing. And you need to ensure that scale remains balanced by calculating the value of the diamond as well as the sum. And once you've done with your calculations, you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, values 18 and 96. Choice B, values 12 and 88. Choice C, values 20 and 92. And last but not least, choice D, values 19 and 94. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can complete the calculations. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the calculations. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, let's look at the picture closely to better understand what we're dealing with. We're presented with the multi-tier scale, and this scale has 4 tiers: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Scale remains in balance because values on the left side and on the right side are equal, and the values are represented by the total of numbers inside of each shape. For example, circle has number 12, hexagon has number 6, triangle has number 3, and square has number 4. Let's look closely at Tier 3 to better understand how this tier remains in balance. As I already mentioned, each tier remains in balance because the numbers are equal on both sides. So on the left of the Tier 3, we have 2 hexagons with total value of 12. On the right of the Tier 3, we have hexagon which equals number 6, plus 2 triangles, 3 plus 3. So on both sides, the total value is 12. This is why tier 3 remains in balance. Now let's look closely at the tier 2. On the left of the tier 2, we have 2 circles. Each circle has a value of 12. 2 circles would be equal 24. On the left of the tier 2, we have 2 circles with total value of 24 and the entire tier 3, which also equals 24. This what keeps tier 2 in balance. Now, knowing this logic, we can calculate the missing value on tier 4. Because tier 4 needs to remain in balance, the value of 12 plus 6 should be equal to the missing value, which means that the missing value is 18. And the total sum will be calculated as the sum of all the numbers. The sum of tier 2 and tier 3 would be 24 plus 24 plus 48 on the right side of tier 1, which would equal 96. So the correct answer here is choice A, 18 and 96. Did you get to the different answer? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's a very interesting question where answer is absolutely not obvious. You're presented with interestingly looking shapes. On top of the shape is triangle. On the bottom left and on the bottom right, there are squares. There are numbers inside the triangle, and there are also numbers inside the squares. Let's take a close look. The first object has number 5 inside the triangle, and number 3 in the left square, and number 17 in the right square. Second object has number 4 inside the triangle, and numbers 5 and 22 inside the squares. The third object has number 3 inside the square, and numbers 8 and 26 inside the squares. The fourth object has number 2 inside of the triangle, number 7 in the left square, and then comes the missing number inside the right square. And did I mention that all objects are of different colors? If we go from left to right, we start with red on the left, next goes light blue, yellow, and then darker blue. And obviously you're the one who needs to make sense out of it and calculate the missing number. Once calculated, select the final answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 14. Choice B, 25. Choice C, 16. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Because on my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you're a frequent visitor to this channel, or even better if you're a subscriber, you probably know that the key to solving these types of challenges is to understand the pattern. And the pattern here is that the number in the right square is calculated. And it's calculated by multiplying the number inside of the triangle onto the left square number. And on top of this multiplication, you also add 2 to the end result of the calculation. Let's look at the example. If we multiply 5 by 3 in the first object, the end result of this calculation would be 15. Then we add 2 to 15, and that's how we get to the number in the right square, which is 17. Let's look at the second example. 4 multiplied by 5 equals 20, plus 2 equals 22. Now let's move to the third object. 3 multiplied by 8 is 24, plus 2 equals 26. And now comes the missing number. To calculate it, we need to multiply 2 by 7, which would be equal to 14. And then add 2, and end result of this would be 16. So the correct answer here is choice C, 16. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's a very interesting question where you need to calculate the missing number. You're presented with 4 circles. Each circle is of a different color. The first circle has number 1 inside of it. Second circle has number 2. Third circle has number 5 inside, and last circle has the missing number represented by the question mark. You need to calculate and select final answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 24. Choice B, 26. Choice C, 16. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look to see if you can calculate the final answer. Are you ready? I hope you found the answer because it's so easy to calculate. Let's move forward so I can share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I keep repeating myself when I say that finding pattern is the key to solve this challenge. And the pattern here is that the next number is calculated as a square value of the previous number plus 1. Let's look at the example. The first number is given, which is 1. Second number is calculated as 1 square plus 1 and equals 2. The third number is calculated as 2 square plus 1 and equals 5, which means that the missing number is calculated as 5 square, which would be equal to 25, plus 1, which would be equal to 26. So the correct answer here is choice B, 26. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Here's the challenging problem by solving which you will boost your cognitive abilities. You're presented with 5 hints, and using these hints, you need to unlock the code and open the lock. The hints are: in the digits 248, only 1 digit is correct and well placed. In the digits 845, 2 digits are correct but not correctly placed. In the digits 461, only 1 digit is correct and it is correctly placed. In the digits 592, only 1 digit is correct and it is well placed. And last but not least, hint that in the digits 904, none of the digits are correct. To open the lock, you need to process all the hints and select 1 out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 518. Choice B, 485. Choice C, 418. And last but not least, choice D, 568. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I'm pretty sure you're done solving it by now, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer and solution. And if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, you solve this problem through elimination. And I'm going to start with the hint number 5, because it's the most helpful of all. Once we've learned that in combination 904 none of the digits are correct, we can eliminate 2 possible answers. We can eliminate both choices B and C, because both of them have digit 4, which is an incorrect digit. Let's continue elimination to get to the correct answer. If we look through the remaining 4 hints, we learn that in hint 1, where digits are 2, 4, 8, only 1 digit is correctly placed, which is digit 8. In hint 2, 2 digits are correct, but they're not correctly placed, and they're digits 8 and 5. In hint 3, only 1 digit 6 is correct, and it is correctly placed. And last but not least, in hint 4, digit 5 is correct, and it is well placed. Based on this, the correct answer here is choice D, 568. Do you have any hints to show how to best solve these types of challenges? If you do, please make sure to post them in comments. Have you ever dealt with the money tree? Well, now it's your opportunity. And it's your opportunity to check your attention to details. You're presented with the money tree making enterprise. And you need to calculate the total value of money that you see in the picture. What's interesting here is that each coin is 1 cent, and each bill equals $1. You need to identify all coins and all bills and count the total value. Once you complete the calculations, please select 1 out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, $10.18. Choice B, $12.09. Choice C, $15.15. And last but not least, choice D, $18.07. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations. I think the correct answer here is choice A, $10.18. And here's why. I counted $10 in the picture. Let's start with the top of the money tree. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the right, we see another group of the dollar bills. There are $5 there. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we see the hard-to-notice dollar bill on the top of the flower pot. Now let's count the coins. We see 9 coins to the right of the flower pot. Then we see 8 coins coming out of the watering can. And then there is 1 coin on top of the watering can, which is easy to miss. Did you get to the same answer? Choice A, $10.18? If you didn't, please make sure to post your answer and whatever other coins or dollar bills I missed in comments. Here's a puzzling question for you, but I have full confidence that you can solve it quickly. You're presented with 4x4 matrix, and the numbers are, starting in the upper left corner, 9, 8, 3, 4. The second row numbers are 2, 9, 2, and then comes the missing number. The third row starts with 4, 6, 2, 0. And last but not least row is 7, 6, 2, and 6. You need to calculate the missing number. And you have 4 different choices to select from. Choice A, 2. Choice B, 5. Choice C, 6. And last but not least, choice D, 7. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Did you get to the right answer? I hope you did, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. You're probably tired of hearing this in this channel, but to solve these types of challenges, you need to detect the pattern. And the pattern here is that the last 2 digits are equal to the sum of the first 2 digits multiplied by 2. Let's look at the example. The first row contains numbers 9, 8, 3, 4. And the expression here is that 9 plus 8 in parentheses multiplied by 2 equals 34. Based on this logic, the third number would be 4 plus 6 in parentheses multiplied by 2, which would be equal to 20, which represents the set of numbers 4, 6, and then 20. And then the last row would be 7 plus 6 in parentheses multiplied by 2, which would be 13 multiplied by 2, which would be equal to 26. So the missing number would be calculated as 2 plus 9 multiplied by 2 equals 22. So the correct answer here is choice A, 2. Did you get to the same answer? If you didn't, or maybe you got to a different answer, please make sure to post your version in comments. You will enjoy this question because it tests your logical thinking and analytical skills. You're presented with the dart in the exact middle of the dartboard. Dart has numbers on top of the ribbon and at the end of the ribbon. The numbers on the ribbon are 13, 18, 41, 128, and 517. Numbers at the end of the ribbon are 18, 41, 128, 517, and then comes the missing number you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, 1921, choice B, 2029, choice C, 2359, and last but not least, choice D, 2590. Give yourself a moment, maybe pause this video to see if you can calculate the answer. Are you ready? Let's move forward so I can share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. First, to answer this question, let's understand what we're dealing with. Since this game may not be very familiar in all the parts of the world, let's start with the definition. Darts is the competitive sport in which players throw small sharp-pointed missiles, known as darts, at the round target known as dartboard. Now, let's look closely at the dart we're dealing with. Our dart is unique because it has ribbons. There is a number on the ribbon, and there is a calculated number at the end of the ribbon. To complete the calculations, let's assign each ribbon unique number. We're dealing with ribbons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And, as you might have already figured out, the number at the end of the ribbon is calculated based on the sequence ID and number on top of the ribbon itself. The formula to do the calculations is that the end of the ribbon number is calculated as number on top of the ribbon multiplied by sequence ID plus 5. Let's look at the example. The first blue ribbon has the sequence number 1, so that the end of the ribbon number is calculated as 13 multiplied by 1 plus 5, which would be equals 18. The second ribbon number is calculated as 18 multiplied by 2 plus 5 equals 41. The third ribbon number is calculated as 41 multiplied by 3 plus 5 equals 128. And the fourth ribbon number is calculated as 128 multiplied by 4 plus 5 equals 517. Now we know how to calculate the missing number. The missing number is calculated as 517 multiplied by 5 plus 5, which would be equal to 2590. So the correct answer here is choice D, 2590. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. In this section, we will look at the behavioral employment assessment questions frequently asked in a test. Behavioral questions are used by employers to evaluate a candidate's behavioral tendencies, soft skills, and decision-making abilities in specific work-related scenarios. These tests are designed to predict how well a candidate is likely to perform and how well the candidate will fit into company's culture based on their responses to various situational questions. Most commonly, employers use following three types of questions. Number one is scenario-based questions. Candidates are presented with hypothetical work-related scenarios or situations. These scenarios may be relevant to a specific job role or industry the candidate is applying for. Number two are multiple-choice questions. Candidates are provided with multiple-choice options as responses for each scenario. They need to choose the most appropriate or effective response. And last but not least are evaluation behavioral trait questions. These types of questions assess various behavioral traits and soft skills of the candidates, such as problem-solving ability, communication skills, teamwork, conflict resolution, time management, adaptability, and leadership potential. Let's look at some of the specific behavioral test questions we frequently see on the test. Here's an amazing question we frequently see on the test. You're presented with the statement. In this case, the statement is, I'm working better when no one is bothering me. You need to select your answer out of 7 possible choices. Choice A, strongly disagree. Choice B, disagree. Choice C, somewhat disagree. Choice D, not sure. Choice E, somewhat agree. Choice F, agree. And last but not least, choice G, strongly agree. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. This is a tricky question, so in addition to just selecting the answer, I would recommend that you build a mental strategy on how to answer and why are you selecting this particular choice. Are you ready? Let's move forward, so I'll share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Before answering this question, let's take a close look to see what employer is looking for. I believe in this particular question, employer is looking for specific qualities and skills related to teamwork and collaboration. What's interesting is while the statement, I'm working better when no one's bothering me, might reflect preference for working independently, this is not correct. This statement, if answered incorrectly, raises concerns about your ability to function effectively within the team-oriented environment. To better understand how to answer, let's imagine the scenario where you're answering this question during job interview. How would you answer? I might be wrong, but when answering, you would highlight 3 important points. Number 1, you would highlight your collaboration skills. You would emphasize your ability to work well with others and your experiences in collaborating on projects and tasks. You probably would benefit by providing examples on how you communicate effectively, share ideas, and respect diverse opinions. Number 2, you would discuss successful team experiences. You probably would provide examples of times when you worked effectively in a team setting and collaborating to achieving positive outcomes. And last but not least, I would recommend that you acknowledge your independence but show adaptability. While it's okay to appreciate periods of uninterrupted work, it's essential to demonstrate your adaptability to work in a team when required. Now let's summarize and look at important considerations on how you can answer these types of questions. There are a few important criteria to keep in mind. Number 1 is that this question measures your level of sociability. These types of questions measure your tendency to enjoy being around people and working with others. Number 2 is in this question, employer is trying to determine if you're a good team player. Number 3, the correct answer depends on a specific job, but keep in mind that most of the jobs require interactions with other team members. So the summary here is that if your job opening requires teamwork, and most of the jobs do, it's always better to answer strongly disagree or disagree. And if you have ability to provide the rationale for your answer, make sure to use the samples that I'm just about to provide to you, as well as considerations in this notes section. Let's look at the specific sample. So you're presented with the question, I'm working better when no one is bothering me. Your answer might be, I respectfully disagree that I work better when no one's bothering me. In any work environment, I recognize the importance of being open to collaboration, as well as team interactions. I understand that work processes can be unpredictable and that there may be situations where my coworkers require help or attention. And I'm always willing to lend a hand and actively engage with my team members to ensure our collective success. I genuinely enjoy being around people and thrive in collaborative setting. Working with others helps me leverage diverse perspectives and skill sets, which often leads to innovative solutions and improved outcomes. I strongly believe that maintaining open communications with colleagues fosters a supportive and productive work environment. What's even more important is that while I prefer to minimize unnecessary distractions and unrelated requests during my focused time, I understand that effective teamwork sometimes necessitates flexibility. In such cases, I am acceptable and capable of handling stress with composure. I have developed resilience and the ability to maintain productivity even in demanding situations. So, ultimately, I am confident that my collaborative mindset, interpersonal skills, and capacity to handle varying work dynamics make me a strong fit for the role that requires team interactions. I am committed to contributing my best efforts to the team's success and fostering a positive and productive work environment. This is why, when I was presented with the question, I am working better when no one bothering me, I chose choices A, strongly disagree, or choice B, disagree. What are your thoughts and experiences answering this type of question? Could you please share your thought process and rationale in comments so we can all learn? We get a lot of questions on how to excel on behavioral assessment tests for employment. I believe that to succeed in behavioral tests, you must adopt a comprehensive approach that showcases authenticity, self-awareness, job relevance, a balanced perspective, as well as the art of supporting examples. Let's look at each one of them in more details. Number 1 is embrace authenticity. Authenticity forms the foundation of successful behavioral assessment. As a candidate, make sure to be true to yourself and present honest responses that genuinely reflect your personality, values, and work style. I recommend that you avoid the temptation of molding your answers to align with prospective expectations, and instead emphasize your strengths while acknowledging areas of growth. Number 2 principle is cultivate self-awareness. Self-awareness is the key to understanding and articulating your behavioral tendencies. Take a moment to showcase your unique characteristics, strengths, and weaknesses. More than just understanding yourself in isolation, consider how your attributes contribute to collaborative work environment. Number 3 principle is tailor your responses for job relevance. To truly stand out, candidate must recognize the importance of tailoring responses for specific job requirements. Before responding to each scenario, carefully analyze the job description, responsibilities, and organizational values. Make sure to align your answers with the qualities that employer is looking for and ensure that responses resonate with their expectations. Number 4 is strike a balanced perspective. While emphasizing your strengths is crucial, avoid painting the overly one-sided picture of yourself. Make sure that you strive for the balanced perspective, which would acknowledge both your positive attributes and areas of development. And also ensure that you highlight your willingness to learn, adapt, and grow. And last but not least, principle number 5 is elevate your responses with supporting examples. Concrete examples are the lifeblood of compelling behavioral assessment response. Instead of providing vague answers, back your choices with specific instances from the past experiences. Elaborate on how you successfully handled challenges, resolved conflicts, or contributed to the team accomplishments. And now, let's continue to get you ready for the assessment test. Here's an interesting question to see how well you would deal with customer service inquiries. A customer is upset because her favorite pizza is currently unavailable. What is the best way to respond? And you're presented with 4 possible choices. Choice A. Tell the customer to speak with the manager to resolve the issue. Choice B. Offer the customer an alternative pizza option. Choice C. Inform the customer that you will check if the desired pizza is in stock. And last but not least, choice D. State that handling this matter is not within your responsibility. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? If not, please make sure to pause this video to see if you can come up with the answers, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to resolve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, this question is not about picking one of the choices. This question is about fundamental customer service principles and how you use them to answer this particular question. You also want to make sure to mention all these principles when you're answering this question in person. So what are those principles? There are 4 of them. Number 1 is acknowledging the customer's disappointment. Because her favorite pizza is not available and you show empathy, this shows your understanding of her feelings. Number 2 principle is providing an immediate alternative option, which shows responsiveness and commitment to helping the customer promptly. Number 3 principle is taking responsibility for finding a solution, which exemplifies ownerships and dedication for you to help resolve customer issue. And last but not least is the principle of offering an alternative. In this case, you can offer alternative pizza, which would demonstrate a proactive approach to addressing the customer concern and finding a suitable resolution. Based on these 4 principles, let's look at the incorrect answers and why you might avoid selecting them. Choice A. Tell the customer to speak with the manager to resolve the issue. Using this selection passes the responsibility to the manager and may make customer feel ignored and dismissed, and it is important to take initiative and attempt to assist the customer directly. Choice C. Inform the customer that you will check if the desired pizza is in stock is a good choice. But this is not the best choice. While this response shows some willingness to help, it may leave the customer waiting for the solution. Offering an immediate alternative is a more proactive approach. And last incorrect choice is choice D. State that handling this matter is not within your responsibility. Telling the customer that it's not your responsibility can come across as unhelpful and may lead to further dissatisfaction. You should strive to assist the customer as much as possible within your capacity. So as you might have figured out, I believe that the correct answer to this question is choice B. Offer an alternative pizza option. By offering an alternative pizza option, you address the customer's disappointment and demonstrate willingness to help. In addition to the suggestion, you can also offer to search for her favorite pizza flavors in competitor brands. This approach helps turn a negative situation into a positive one, where you learn more about the customer and find the proactive solution as possible suitable alternative. What do you think about this question? Do you agree with this solution? Do you have a better way to solve it? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. In this section, we will look at the leadership assessment test for employment, which measures candidates' leadership potential and skills. The questions on this type of test typically involve scenarios and situational judgment and may assess traits such as decision-making, communication, conflict resolution, and delegation. Let's look at some sample leadership assessment test questions we typically see on the test to prepare you for the assessment. Let's face it, the correct answer to this question is a brick in the foundation of your success. Build confidently as you're constructing a monument of achievement. You need to select the answer that best describes you to the following statement. I am more productive when I don't have to take risks as part of my job. And you're presented with 7 possible choices. Choice A, strongly disagree. Choice B, disagree. Choice C, somewhat disagree. Choice D, not sure. Choice E, somewhat agree. Choice F, agree. And last but not least, choice G, strongly agree. Do you think you've encountered a tough one? Rest assured, you are not alone in this path. And I can't agree more. But regardless of your experience in problem solving, I believe in your abilities. Pause for a moment, harness your creativity, and let's face this challenge together. The answer is just waiting for your insightful touch. Are you prepared with your solution? I am curious to compare notes. Let's move forward and share our answers. To answer this question correctly, let's first understand what are we being asked. There are 3 important considerations here. Number 1 is that employers value individuals who demonstrate willingness to take calculated risk, as it shows initiative, innovation, and a proactive approach to problem solving. In fact, nowadays, companies are very interested in the candidate's ability to make informed decisions, particularly when it comes to assessing risks and weighting potential outcomes. Correct response to this question should suggest that the candidate is capable of making strategic decisions that may lead to productivity gains and positive outcomes for the organization. In fact, there are 4 important qualities assessed in this question: your problem-solving abilities, your levels and tolerance for innovation and creativity, your adaptability and resilience, and your strategic thinking. Let's look at each one of those in more details so we better understand how to answer this question correctly. Let's start with problem-solving abilities. Taking calculated risks often requires problem-solving skills to assess potential challenges and develop strategies to mitigate risks. Candidates who demonstrate a willingness to take calculated risks may also exhibit strong problem-solving abilities, enabling them to overcome obstacles and drive productivity in their roles. You might be surprised how indirectly this question assesses your innovation and creativity. In fact, candidates who are open to taking calculated risks may possess a creative and innovative mindset. These candidates may be more inclined to explore new ideas, approaches, and solutions to challenges, which can lead to increased productivity and innovation within the workplace. Based on your answer, employers can also determine your levels of adaptability and resilience. In fact, candidates who are comfortable with taking calculated risks may demonstrate greater adaptability and resilience in face of uncertainty. They may be more willing to embrace change, navigate challenges, and persevere in pursuit of productivity and success. Strategic thinking, which is also assessed as part of this question, is a big item on the list of employers. Taking calculated risks requires strategic thinking and an ability to anticipate potential outcomes and consequences. And candidates who exhibit a willingness to take calculated risks may possess strong strategic thinking skills, enabling them to make informed decisions that align with organization goals and objectives. In summary, this simple question main focus is to measure your decision-making skills. But in addition, employer is trying to determine your levels of innovation, creativity, problem-solving, adaptability, resilience, and strategic thinking. In fact, this question measures your open-mindedness and comfort around trying new things. The correct answer depends on specifics of the job. A candidate who is more open-minded and demonstrate a willingness to take calculated risks may be perceived as more effective. Let me leave you with the sample answer if you face this question in a job interview. As a candidate, I recognize that productivity is essential in my role, and I strive to maintain high levels of efficiency in my work. However, I disagree with the statement that I am more productive when I don't have to take calculated risks. While stability and predictability are valuable, I believe that taking calculated risks can lead to innovation growth and breakthroughs in performance. By disagreeing with the statement, I aim to convey my willingness to step outside of my comfort zone, embrace challenges, and explore new opportunities that may enhance productivity and contribute to the success of the organization. My approach is carefully evaluate risks, make informed decisions, and leverage opportunities to drive positive outcomes, ultimately maximizing productivity and achieving goals effectively. With this answer, I believe the correct answer to this question is choice B, disagree. Are you in agreement with me? If you're not, please make sure to share your answer and your suggestions in comments. A lot of times during the test, you might be presented with very uncomfortable situation to determine how you would behave. This is one of those test questions. You got promoted to the manager role that your colleague at work was also hoping for. Now things are awkward between you two. You want to keep the relationship going, but your colleague is not speaking to you outside of the required communications during the team meetings. You have 5 choices to select all that apply in order. Choice A, apologize for the fact that you were promoted over your colleague. Choice B, ask your colleague about her career aspirations. Choice C, schedule a meeting to discuss your colleague's feelings. Choice D, stay professional. Choice E, prepare the 30-day action plan as a manager of the department. Take a close look, maybe pause this video, give yourself 10 to 15, maybe 20 seconds to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I think this question is about demonstrating leadership at the higher level of job responsibilities. Let's take a close look. I think you cannot control other people's reactions to your promotion. Typically, the best candidate gets selected for the promotion if there is a competition within the department. Because of this, you should not feel bad that you were selected for the job, and instead of focusing on colleagues' feelings, You should focus on common goal of making department and the company move forward in the marketplace. I think your colleagues' reactions described in this question might be called stonewalling, which is one of the ways to demonstrate defensive behavior. Stonewalling means that the person shuts down when feelings are overwhelming during a conflict. Instead of looking inside and finding opportunities to get better and look forward at this experience as potential opportunity, especially when they can't do anything about the changed environment, and they find the blame in another person and mentally justify their behavior. Here are some recommended steps how you can respond as a leader in your department. You should not feel bad about what happened. You were selected for promotion for a reason, and there is nothing to apologize for. Number 2, you should be empathetic, but do not try to please your colleague. Number 3, you should focus on the common goals for the department. You should build a plan to move forward, be a change agent, address all the issues that you've learned about when you were a peer with your colleague, and you should lead by example. Let's look at the key traits assessed in this question. I think the essential traits that are being assessed are empathy, leading by example, and genuinely try to help others. There are also some red flags that this question is trying to look for. For example, feeling guilty and focusing on feelings instead of work deliverables. Based on this, I think that the least recommended choices in order would be choices A and C. Choice A, apologizing for the fact that you were promoted over your friend, and choice C, schedule a meeting to discuss your colleagues' feelings. I would say that the most recommended answers would be choices D, E, and B. I think staying strong and maintaining professional behavior is always a good strategy, which gains you respect from peers, management, and company's customers. Instead of focusing on feelings of another person, you should focus on common goals for the department to advance your organization, and do it by building an action plan. At the same time, you should genuinely try to help your colleague to advance and ask her about her career aspirations. So my recommended choices in order would be choice D, staying professional, choice E, prepare a 30-day action plan as a manager of the department, and last but not least, choice B, ask your colleague about her career aspirations. Do you have a better way to solve it? Please make sure to post your answers and rationale in comments. In this section, we will look at the sample questions for cognitive test, which represents an assessment used by employers to evaluate candidates' mental abilities such as problem solving, critical thinking, and memory. The questions in the test can vary, but typically involve math problems, logic puzzles, spatial reasoning, and verbal comprehension. Let's look at some sample cognitive assessment test questions we typically see on the test. What's interesting about this problem is that it seems unsolvable, but if you make one correct assumption, it's so easy to solve it. You're presented with the shelf of items from the coffee shop, and the items are cupcakes and cookies. There are 3 sets of items, and 2 sets have price tags associated with them, and the last set does not, and you need to calculate the price tag for the last set. The first set consists of 1 cookie and 1 cupcake, and the price tag for the first set is $7. The second set consists of 2 cookies and 1 cupcake, and the price tag for the second set is $12. The last set consists of only 1 cupcake, and you need to calculate and select price for the cupcake out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, $5. Choice B, $4. Choice C, $2. And last but not least, choice D, $3. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Did you figure it out? It seems unsolvable, but the only thing you need to make is one assumption. And using this assumption, I'm going to move forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Take a close look at the first set. The first set consists of cookie and cupcake, and it costs $7. What's interesting is that the second set already includes the first set plus the cookie, which allows us to calculate the price of this extra cookie. And we can do it by subtracting 7 from 12, and the end result of it is $5, which means that the price of cookie is $5. Now we can easily calculate the price of cupcake by subtracting 5 from 7, which means that the total price of cupcake is 2. So the correct answer here is choice C, $2. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. And now I have something that maybe you were not expecting. Here's the practice question for you. You need to find the missing number, and you're presented with 4 scales. 3 scales have items on the left side and the number on the right side to make them equal. And 4th scale only has items on the left and missing number on the right in the form of question mark. You need to calculate the question mark out of 4 different choices. Choice A, 60. Choice B, 65. Choice C, 70. And then last but not least, choice D, 75. Take a close look. Maybe pause this video for 10 to 15 seconds to see if you can come up with the solution. Once you're ready, please make sure to post your answer in the comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's a very interesting question to test your spatial reasoning. You're presented with partial square, and you need to find the missing shape to build the full square. You have 4 different choices to choose from to complete the square. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. And on my end, I'm moving forward to share with you the correct solution. As you might have figured out, the correct choice here is choice D. And to get to this answer, you need to look at the shape which fits perfectly to match the edges. Since this is the 5 by 5 square, choice D is the perfect shape because it matches perfectly to create a full square. Hopefully you've nailed this question on your own and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. And now I have a question for you to test your skills. You're presented with the series of objects, and you need to determine next object in the sequence. Please choose one of the following 4 choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Do you see the correct answer? Please make sure to post your version in comments. This would allow me to give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's an amazing question where we need to find the missing number. You're presented with the tree looking like structure, and it has the numbers in the circles on the top. The numbers are, if we start from the left, 50, 216, 880, and then comes the missing number. You need to calculate and select the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 1290. Choice B, 2565. Choice C, 2941. And last but not least, choice D, 3536. I'm gonna give you a quick hint. Take a close look to see what exactly do you see on this picture. And you see circles, you see stamps, and you see numbers. And here's another consideration. Do you think the fact that circles have different colors matters? Or it doesn't? Give yourself 10 to 15 seconds to see if you can figure it out. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The pattern here is rather simple, but it takes a little bit of time to detect it. If we start from the left, from the smallest number, and go clockwise, the next number is calculated as a previous value multiplied by the total number of lines plus total number of circles. Let's look at the example. The first number is 50 in the purple circle, and it's given, not calculated. The second number, though, is calculated previous number 50 multiplied by 4 plus 16, and the result of this is 216. Third number is calculated as 216 multiplied by 4 plus 16 and equals 880. Now you might be wondering what is 4 and where it came from and what is 16. The 4 is number of stem lines in this structure. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 16 is the total number of circles. If you count them, you see 4 circles on the forefront, the ones that have number and missing number. And then there are also 12 circles in the background. Now we have all of this information and we can calculate the missing number. It is calculated as 880 multiplied by 4, then we add 16, and the end result of this is 3536. So the correct answer here is choice D, 3536. Hopefully you've nailed this problem and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. But in case you need more challenges like this, please make sure to check out the description for additional resources. One of the most frequent questions we get on this channel is how to improve your pattern recognition skills. This is so important because it's an essential skill to help you pass an employment assessment test. Let me introduce you to one of the most common English pattern called palindromes. Palindromes is a letter-based pattern which allows you to read the same word backwards and forwards. Let's look at some key examples of the words that used in the test. For example, words radar, civic, level, a race car, henna, madam, noon, pop, eve, kayak, rotator, stats, tenet, wow, and a lot of others. Do you know any those other words, interesting palindromes that I didn't mention here? Please make sure to post them in comments so we can all learn. And now let's continue to get you ready for the test. Here's an absolutely phenomenal question, which is absolutely not obvious how to solve it. Instead of one question mark, you need to find two question marks. You're presented with three triangles. All triangles have a circle on the top. Blue triangle has three numbers inside. Starting from the top, the numbers are 3, 7, and 4, and number on the top is 6. Yellow triangle has numbers 2, 4, and 2, and there is a missing number on the top. Green triangle has numbers 5, 9, and 4, and missing number on the top. Take a close look to see if you can find two missing number and select out of 4 different choices. Choice A, 10 and 4. Choice B, 1 and 8. Choice C, 6 and 3. And choice D, 2 and 2. Do you know the answer? I gotta tell you, the answer is not really obvious, but I know how smart you are, and together we should be able to solve it. Are you ready? Hear me out. The pattern here is that to calculate the number on the top of the triangle, you need to use inside upper number added to the number on the right, and then you should subtract the left number. For example, for the blue triangle, which has all the numbers, the calculations will be 3 plus 7 minus 4 equals 6. For the green triangle, the calculations will be 5 plus 9 minus 4 equals 10. And for the yellow triangle, the calculations will be 2 plus 4 minus 2 equals 4. So the correct choice here is answer A, 10 and 4. Did you figure it out? Please make sure to post your answer, rationale, and thought process in comments. I get a lot of questions on how to improve your pattern recognition skills. Let me share with you 3 common patterns we frequently see on the test. Let's start with triangular numbers. Triangular numbers are the numbers that can be represented as a sum of consecutive integers starting with 1. For example, the first 5 triangular numbers would be 1, 3, 6, 10, and 15. Next one on my list are square numbers. Square numbers are the numbers that can be represented by a product of a number multiplied by itself. For example, the first 5 square numbers are 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. Because 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, and 5 square is 25. And last but not least on my list are cube numbers. Cube numbers are numbers that can be represented as a product of a number multiplied by itself twice. For example, the first 5 cube numbers are 1, 8, 27, 64, and 125. Because 1 cube is 1, 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27, 4 cube is 64, and 5 cube is 125. Do you know any other interesting numerical patterns I didn't mention here? Please make sure to post them in comments so we can all learn. And now let's continue to get you ready for the test. Here's the question of intermediate complexity we frequently see on the test. You're presented with 4 shapes, and one shape has a missing number in the middle. You need to calculate the pattern and calculate the missing number, selecting it by one of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 22. Choice B, 23. Choice C, 25. And then last but not least, choice D, 24. Take a close look at the shapes and see if you can calculate the pattern. Let me share with you my logic and rationale, And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to share in comments. I think the pattern here is that to calculate the middle number, you need to multiply the top two numbers and subtract 1. Then add the bottom number. Let's look at the first shape to confirm the logic. 2 multiplied by 3 minus 1 equals 5. 5 plus 2, which is the bottom number, equals the middle number, which is 7. Let's apply the same pattern to the shape with the missing number. 8 multiplied by 3 minus 1 equals 24 minus 1 equals 23. 23 plus 2 equals the missing number, which means that the missing number is 25. So the correct choice here is choice C, 25. Did you see any other patterns or found the better ways to solve it? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. One of the very frequent questions we get on this channel is how to improve your pattern recognition skills. One of the key ways is to use your imagination. You can use imagination to visualize items in your mind, and this is one of the most powerful techniques. Let's take a close look at the example. Here, you're required to build English business word, and you need to use all the letters only once. If you look closely and try to visualize and build the answer in your mind, you can mentally connect the letters and get to the correct answer, which is the word management. It might be hard to do it initially, but if you do crosswords and puzzles, you can improve your skills and get better at this with practice. Do you have any other interesting techniques that you can share? Please make sure to post them in comments so we can all learn. Here's an interesting question where you need to find the missing number. You're presented with the set of numbers 4, 9, 20, 8, 5, 14, 10, 3, and then comes the missing number. You need to select or calculate the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 4. Choice B, 11. Choice C, 13. And choice D, 34. Take a close look at this 3x3 matrix to see if you can come up with the solution. I hope by now you have a good understanding of the problem and maybe pause this video trying to solve it, because on my end I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. And the pattern here is that the manipulation with the left and the middle number calculate right column's number. Basically, in each row, the third number is the sum of half of the first number and 2 times the second number. Let's look at the specific calculations. The first row has numbers 4, 9, and 20. 4 divided by 2 plus 9 multiplied by 2 equals 2 plus 18 and equals 20, which is exactly the number in the third column. Second row contains numbers 8, 5, and 14. 8 divided by 2 plus 5 multiplied by 2 equals 4 plus 10 and equals 14. And now we are ready to calculate the missing number. 10 divided by 2 plus 3 multiplied by 2 equals 5 plus 6 and equals 11. So the correct choice here is choice B, 11. Do you have a better answer? Please make sure to share your thoughts and rationale in comments. Here's the problem for you to test your business math skills as well as attention to details. You need to calculate the value by multiplying number of coins in the cent clock by the number of dollar signs. You need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 190. Choice B, 200. Choice C, 210. And last but not least, choice D, 230. Once you complete the calculations, please make sure to post your answer and calculations in comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's a rather unexpected question you might frequently see on the test. You need to determine during which period revenue declined, and you're presented with the profit and loss chart that covers periods from 2018 to 2024. On the chart, you see 3 lines representing revenue, expenses, and taxes. And you need to select the final answer out of 4 different choices. Choice A, the period between 2018 and 2020. Choice B, the period between 2019 and 2020. Choice C, the period between 2020 and 2021. And choice D, the period between 2023 and 2024. Give yourself a little bit of time, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the solution. I'm pretty sure that by now you found it, but I'm going to move forward and reveal you my version of the solution anyway. And if you know the better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The way I see it is that the revenue goes down between the period of 2020 and 2021, which is represented by the blue line. In 2020, the revenue was about 9.5 units, and then in 2021, it went down to approximately 8.5 units. All other highlighted periods in the question indicate revenue increases. Did you see it differently? Please make sure to post your answer in comments. In this section, we will look at the work simulation test, which is used to evaluate candidates' ability to perform tasks and skills required for the job. The questions on this type of test typically involve simulated scenarios and tasks that are similar to what the candidate would encounter on the job, such as data analysis, customer service, and problem solving. Let's look at some sample work simulation assessment test questions to get you ready. Here's a very interesting question to determine how well you can work with others. You need to determine what is the best way to schedule a meeting with the client who is based in a different time zone and has limited availability. You need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, schedule the meeting without considering the client's time zone. Choice B, email the client with several date and time options without specifying the time zone. Choice C, check the client's time zone and suggest several date and time options that work for both the client and your manager. And last but not least, choice D, schedule the meeting during your manager's preferred time slot without considering the client's availability or time zone. Take a close look to see if you can select the right answer. And I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice C. Option C is the best choice because it takes into consideration the client's availability and time zone. There are 2 stakeholders in this action, your manager and your client. And you need to check the time zone and suggest several date and time options that work for both the client and your manager. This will ensure that the meeting is scheduled at a convenient time for both parties, and this minimizes the risk of confusion and miscommunication. Let's also look at other options to determine why they might be incorrect. Let's look at option A. It is wrong because it ignores the client's time zone, which will lead to scheduling conflicts. Option B is also incorrect because it does not specify the time zone, which can cause confusion and miscommunication. And last but not least, option D is incorrect as well because it disregards the client's availability and time zone, which can lead to scheduling conflicts and damage the company's reputation. When you solved this challenge on your own, did you come up with a different answer? If this is the case, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Very frequently on the test, companies look at your customer service skills. This is one of these types of questions. You work as a CSR and need to help troubleshoot internet connectivity. What is the best approach to troubleshoot slow internet speeds for a customer? You're presented with 4 choices and you need to select one. Choice A, ask the customer to restart their modem and transfer to technical support if issue persists. Choice B, ask the customer to restart their computer and transfer to technical support if issue persists. Choice C, ask the customer to check their internet connection and transfer to technical support if the issue persists. And last but not least, choice D, walk the customer through the thorough troubleshooting process, including resetting the modem and computer, checking cables and connections, and testing the internet speeds. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. If you need to pause this video, feel free to do this to reread the answers and select the correct one. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it or have a different important considerations, please make sure to bring them up in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice D. To remind you, in choice D, you would need to walk the customer through a thorough troubleshooting process, including resetting the modem and computer, checking cables and connections, and testing the internet speeds. Only this approach shows your commitment to providing excellent customer service and may even resolve the issue without need for technical support transfer. One important thing to note, the original question is kind of convoluted and it uses the acronyms. Just to clarify for you, CSR stands for Customer Service Representative. And now let's look at the incorrect choices, choices A, B, and C, to see why they are incorrect. I think those options are incorrect because they only involved asking the customer to perform a single action and then transferring them to technical support. This approach may not resolve the issue, and it may result in a customer having to wait longer for the resolution. Did you come up with the different answer? If you did, please make sure to post your answer, considerations, and thought process in comments. Here's a very interesting question on how to provide recommendation to your manager for the new product line. Your manager wants you to provide a recommendation on whether to continue investing in the new product line based on your analysis of the sales data. What is the best approach to analyze the sales data and provide the recommendation? You're presented with 4 different choices. Let's look at each one of them. Choice A. Conduct a simple analysis of the sales data and provide recommendation based on initial findings. Choice B. Conduct a comprehensive analysis of the sales data, including market trends and competitor data. Provide a recommendation based on your findings. Choice C. Provide a recommendation based on personal opinion and expertise without conducting any analysis of the sales data. And last but not least, choice D. Provide a recommendation based on the sales data from a similar product line without analyzing the sales data for the new product line. Take a close look to see if you can select the correct answer. Are you ready? Ready or not, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I think the correct answer here is choice B. In choice B, you need to conduct a comprehensive analysis of the sales data, including market trends and competitor data. Provide a recommendation based on your findings. I think this choice is correct because it allows you to provide a thorough understanding of the sales data, ensuring more accurate and informed recommendation. Conducting a comprehensive analysis of the sales data is essential in making an informed decision for your manager. Let's also look at the incorrect choices to determine why they are incorrect. Option A is too simplistic and can get the result in an incomplete assessment of the sales data. Option C is unreliable and can be seen as unprofessional since it's based on personal opinion and experience without any supporting data. And last but not least, choice D is not recommended since it involves using sales data from a similar product line, which may not be relevant to the new product line. Was your answer different? If it was, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. In this section, we will look at the sample questions for verbal reasoning test for employment, which typically represents an assessment used by employers to measure candidates' ability to comprehend and analyze written information. The questions typically involve reading passages, answering questions based on the information presented, as well as identifying relationships between words and understanding the vocabulary. Let's look at some sample questions that you typically see on the test to make sure you get ready. Here's the question you will definitely enjoy solving. You're presented with 8 letters, and you need to determine the next letter in the sequence. The letters you see are D, J, F, M, A, M, J, J, and then comes the missing letter, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, J, choice B, A, choice C, F, and choice D, M. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. I'm going to give you a quick hint. Try to solve the pattern by thinking about Christmas and then New Year, and then think what comes next. I hope this hint was helpful because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, the sequence represents the first letters of each month, starting from December. This is why I started with Christmas. Then comes January. This is why I mentioned New Year. Then February, March, April, May, June, July, and as you might have guessed, the next month would be August, which starts with A. So the correct answer here is choice B, A. I truly hope that you came up with the correct version of the answer on your own, and if you didn't, learn how to answer similar problems on the test. Admit it or not, but deciphering this question is like teaching a penguin to fly. A real flap, but once you soar through, it's a flight of an accomplishment. I wonder if these questions are secretly evaluating our ability to navigate unconventional situations. You're presented with the circle, which contains letters inside. 3 letters are missing. You need to build English business word by selecting 3 possible letters. For choice A, the letters are A, Y, and Y. For choice B, the letters are A, E, Y. For choice C, the letters are E, T, O. And for choice D, the letters are A, and Y. Feeling challenged? It's okay, you are not alone. I feel the same way. Whether you're a seasoned solver or casual questions explorer, I have faith in your problem-solving abilities. Give it the time it deserves, think outside the box, and watch the pieces fall into place. I have full confidence that you've got what it takes. Are you ready with your solution? Still not ready? Let me give you a hint. This word represents a comprehensive plan that outlines organizations' long-term goals and objectives, along with actions and tactics required to achieve them. I am pretty sure you've got this now. The word is strategy. Strategy involves making decisions how to allocate resources, such as people, capital, and time, to gain a competitive advantage in the market. So the missing letters are A, E, and Y, and the correct choice here is B. With this question, it's pretty clear that explaining data analytics to your grandma is like decoding a complex algorithm with a punchline. The interpretation might be fuzzy, but the laughter is always in the regression. You're presented with 4 words, and you need to determine the one that is misspelled. The words are choice A, concatenation, choice B, normalization, choice C, aggregation, and last but not least, choice D, duplication. Feel that you stumbled upon a tough task? Well, it's not one of those your grandma questions. I can tell you this, it's a serious data analytics business, but you are not alone in this journey. Whether you're a problem-solving veteran or newcomer, I believe in your capabilities. Take a moment to reflect, tap into your creativity, and let's tackle this challenge together. Your answer is just waiting to be discovered. Are you ready with your answer? Let's move forward so we can sync up the solutions. To be able to best answer this question, let's understand the meaning of each word. Concatenation stands for merging or combining 2 or more things, such as datasets or strings, into a single entity. Normalization is adjusting and scaling data to a standard format or range for consistent analysis. Aggregation is summarizing or combining data to obtain overall insights or totals. And last but not least, duplication is creating identical copies of data or records within a dataset. I am pretty sure you figured it by now. The misspelled word is choice C, aggregation. The correct spelling is A-G-G, 2 G's here in this word, R-E-G-A-T-I-O-N. Let's dive into the world of letters with this amazingly tricky question that not only evaluates your English alphabet knowledge, but also tests your analytical skills and your strategies for tackling challenges effectively. You're presented with 3x3 matrix. The matrix has letters inside. The first row has letters A, B, and D. The second row has letters B, D, and F. And then the third row has letters D, F, and then comes the missing letter, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, H. Choice B, D. Choice C, F. And last but not least, choice D, K. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I mentioned that this question is a little tricky, so let me give you a hint. Take a close look and consider why would some boxes, some squares in the matrix would be in gray and some would be in white. Was it helpful? I hope it was. I've unlocked my answer and I'm excited to unveil some hints for you to share the answer. Let's explore the solution together. And obviously, if you've came up with the different and more creative alternative solution or tips how to solve these types of challenges effectively, make sure to post them in comments. To answer this question correctly, let's look at our matrix from a little different dimension. Each letter here corresponds to a specific place in the alphabet, which can be represented by the number. For example, letter A equals 1, letter B 2, C 3, and etc. If we follow this logic, we can replace all letters in all 3 rows with the numbers. So for the first row, the numbers will be 1, 2, and 4. For the second row, the numbers would be 2, 4, and 6. And for the third row, the numbers will be 4 and 6, and then would be the missing number. The next step is to determine what's happening with the numbers. and how to calculate the missing number. Remember I gave you a hint? Hope you figured it out, because numbers in the white squares here are the result of addition of numbers in the gray squares. Let's look at the example. For example, 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 plus 2 equals 6. This is how the numbers in the white squares of the second row are calculated. 2 plus 4 equals 6. This is the result of the calculation in the third row, which would mean that the missing number on the intersection of 4 and 4 will be calculated as addition of 4 plus 4, which would be equal to 8. So the correct answer here is choice A, H, because H is the letter that corresponds to the number 8. Here's an amazing question to test your verbal reasoning and analytical skills. You need to arrange the words into a coherent sentence and determine the last word in this sentence. The words are A, coverage, B, protects, C, against, D, financial, E, losses, F, business, G, risks. Take a close look, see if you can build this sentence and determine the last word in this sentence. Did you figure it out? I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To get to the correct answer, let's look at each word in this sentence to determine the meaning of the word and how to use it correct way. We start with the words coverage, business, and risks. These are not the objects of the sentence. We also look at the against and financial. These are prepositions and adjectives. The word protects is the verb and it provides valuable information in the sentence. The word losses is the object of the sentence and it provides information about what business insurance protects against. Based on this information, let's build the sentence. Business insurance protects against financial losses. Based on this, we can determine that the last word in the sentence is losses. And this is the object of the sentence, and it also provides a specific type of protection. So I believe the correct answer here is choice E, losses. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's an amazing question which tests your logical reasoning and verbal reasoning skills. You're presented with 3 verbal statements, and you need to determine if the final statement is true. The first statement is most small businesses are family-owned. The second statement is most family-owned businesses are profitable. And the last statement, most small businesses are profitable. Is this statement true? You need to select out of 3 possible choices. Choice A, yes. Choice B, no. And last but not least, choice C is uncertain. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Because on my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is A, yes, which means that most small businesses are profitable, and this is the accurate statement. Which means that the statement, most small businesses are profitable, is true. Let me explain you why. If most small businesses are family-owned, and most family-owned businesses are profitable, then it stands to reason that most small businesses are also profitable. What's interesting to note about this question is that answer C, uncertain, might also be accurate, and some test systems might be configured to accept it as the accurate answer. And the main reason is that the relationship between the statements are unclear, or if there's insufficient information to make logical conclusions, you can answer uncertain. Was your answer different? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. I love this question because the answer represents such a powerful business concept. You're presented with 10 letters, and you need to build English business word by using each letter only once. The letters are N, I-N, A-V-O, and I-T-O. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. I am going to give you a quick hint. The word refers to the process of introducing new ideas, products, services, or processes that add value to society, the economy, or organizations. Did you figure it out? I hope the hint was helpful because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And if you have a better way to solve it, as usual, please make sure to post in comments. My answer is innovation, and the word is spelled as INNOVATION. What's interesting is that innovation involves combining creativity, technology, and practicality to develop new solutions that meet people's needs and address emerging challenges. Innovation is also crucial for the growth and development of the businesses, economies, and societies, and it drives competitiveness, productivity, and progress. Let's look at the examples of the most recent consumer innovations. Number one is streaming services. The popularity of streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus disrupted the traditional TV industry by offering on-demand access to the vast library of movies and TV shows. The fact that I can broadcast my videos and share them with you directly is also part of streaming services innovation. The next one on my list is electric cars. The development of electric cars by companies such as Tesla, Nissan, and Chevrolet has provided consumers with a more sustainable and energy-efficient alternative to traditional gasoline-powered vehicles. Another example of recent innovation is wearable technology. The emergence of wearable technologies such as smartwatches, fitness trackers, and virtual reality headsets had powered people to track their health and fitness, stay connected, and experience immersive digital content. We also recently enjoyed innovation of online marketplaces. Companies such as Amazon, eBay, and Etsy revolutionized the way people shop by providing them with vast selection of products, competitive prices, and fast delivery options. And last but not least on my list is the smart home technology. The rise of smart home technology allowed people to control and automate various aspects of their homes, from lighting and temperature to security and entertainment, using voice commands and mobile apps. Do you know any other examples of recent innovations? Please make sure to share them in comments so we can all learn. There's no better question to boost your IQ and brain power. You're presented with 3 expressions, and you need to find the missing item in the third expression. The first expression is B plus D equals F. The second expression is Z minus W equals C. And the third expression is D multiplied by E equals missing item. And you need to find and select the missing item out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, T. Choice B, S. Choice C, U. And last but not least, choice D, I. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the missing item. I'm going to give you a quick hint here. To solve this challenge, you need to know English alphabet. But it's one of the simplest alphabets available with only 26 letters. Are you ready? Let's move forward, so I'll share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, you really need to have a good understanding of English alphabet. And not just the alphabet, but also analytically understand that you can assign a number for each letter of the alphabet. I already mentioned that there are 26 letters in English alphabet, and this is probably one of the first things you study when you study English. So the letters would be A, B, C, D, and so on. And you can go forward, and for each letter, you can assign the number. For example, letter A will get associated with number 1. Letter B will be associated with number 2. C with 3, D with 4, E with 5, and you can continue up to the letter Z, which would be associated with number 26. With this cross-reference, let's see if we can get a better conversion between letters and numbers. For example, expression B plus D equals F, in reality, after conversion, would be 2 plus 4 equals 6, which makes mathematical sense. Let's look at the second one. Z minus W equals C would in reality be equal 26, which is the number associated with letter Z, minus 23, which is the number associated with letter W, which would be equal to 3. So the last expression, D multiplied by E, in reality would be equal 4 multiplied by 5, and would be equal to 20, which is associated with the letter T. So the correct answer here is choice A, T. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Here's an amazing question to test your English business vocabulary. You need to build English business word using all the letters presented on the screen. and you only need to use each letter once. The letters are GOI, SLT, ICS. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Because I want you to succeed so much, I'm gonna give you a quick hint. The word represents the process of planning, implementing, and controlling the movements of storage of goods or materials from the point of origin to the point of consumption. Did you figure it out? I'm going to move forward and share with you my version of the answer. But if you have a better way or alternative way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The answer is logistics. The word is spelled as LOGISTICS. To get better at solving these types of challenges, try to visualize the word and try different combinations. For example, if you look at original 9 letters, you will see that if we start from the middle, you can start building the word LOG, and then you build the remainder of the word to get to the correct answer. Do you have any other tips, tricks, or techniques that can help you solve these types of challenges? Please make sure to post them in comments. In this section, we will look at the personality assessment test questions. A personality assessment test is a type of psychological evaluation used during the hiring process to assess candidates' personality traits, behavioral tendencies, and work-related preferences. This test aims to provide insights on how a candidate might behave, interact with others, and fit into the company's culture. The typical purpose of personality assessment is to gauge a candidate's suitability for a particular job or work environment based on their personality traits. Personality assessment test helps employers to identify individuals who possess the desired characteristics and align with the organizational values. Let's look at some sample personality assessment test questions we typically see on the test. Here's a very interesting question which you cannot just answer because you need a strategy and approach on how to answer. You need to select from 2 statements, one that best describes you and one that describes you the least. And your choices for selections are: Choice A, I should have all the information before making a decision. Choice B, I easily communicate with people. Choice C, I like to take responsibility for my team. And last but not least, choice D, I prefer long-term projects over short-term ones. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. And more importantly, you need to decide on what type of considerations you would choose to answer this particular question. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I think is that the most important consideration here to answer this question is job relevance. You need to consider the requirements and responsibilities of the role that you're applying for. For example, one differentiation might be individual contributor role versus leadership role. By doing this differentiation, the describe me the most will identify statements that will demonstrate the good fit for the particular job position. And for describe me the least will provide reasons why, based on the position, this may not be applicable. And obviously, you would need to support the answer with the examples from your past career. Let's look at how you might consider answering this question if you're applying for individual contributor jobs. The individual contributor jobs is where you as individual responsible for the outcomes. Samples of these jobs might be data analyst, research scientist, software engineer, quality assurance specialist, financial analyst, technical writer, graphics designer, and a lot of others. Here, the preferential answers would be choices A and D. Let's look at choice A first. Choice A, I should have all the information before making the decision. The statement for individual contributor job suggests a preference for thoughtfulness and careful decision-making. In an individual contributor role, it's important to be detailed-oriented and make informed decisions based on available information. This trait can be valuable in roles that require precise execution and attention to details. Choice D, I prefer long-term projects over short-term ones, is also preferred for individual contributor roles. This statement indicates a preference for working on the projects that have longer duration. In an individual contributor role, this trait may be beneficial for tasks or projects that require patience, persistence, and focus on long-term goals. It suggests an ability to sustain effort and commitment over the extended periods of times. Now, if you're applying for leadership position, you might consider choosing choices B and C as the ones that would represent you as a candidate for this position. Leadership positions are positions like team lead, project manager, director, vice president, department manager, sales manager, marketing manager, operations managers, human resources manager, and a lot of others. Let's look at both choices B and C individually to see why selecting them might be beneficial when applying for leadership positions. Choice B, I easily communicate with people. This statement highlights strong interpersonal communication skills, which are essential for a leadership position. Effective communication is crucial for building relationships, conveying information, and motivating and influencing others. Strong communication skills can contribute for successful leadership and collaboration within the team. Choice C, I like to take responsibility for my team, highlights the desire to take ownership and accountability for the success in the team. In a leadership position, the ability to assume responsibility, provide guidance, and support team members is crucial. It indicates a willingness to lead by example, make decisions, and make necessary actions to drive team performance and achieve goals. One important point to understand is that I'm not asking you to provide an incorrect answers. I'm asking you to decide how your past experiences can be helpful to the role you're applying for. There is a valid you selected to apply for this particular position, and the reason is because you believe your qualifications are aligned with position description. So what you need to do here, answering this question, you need to align the answers with the job requirements. My 3 recommendations for you on how to answer these types of questions is provide authenticity, provide self-reflection, and provide supporting examples. Let's look at each one individually to help you decide how to answer this particular question. Let's look at number 1, authenticity. You need to provide honest and genuine responses that accurately reflect your personality traits and tendencies. It is essential to be true to yourself and true to your employer rather than trying to present what you think the employer might be looking for. Number 2 is self-reflection. Take a moment to reflect on your own characteristics and behaviors. Consider your strengths, weaknesses, preferences, and areas where you excel or struggle. And number 3, think of the supporting examples. Justify your choices by providing specific examples or instances from your past experience. This helps add credibility to your responses and allows the employer to understand your reasons and thought process. Next, I'm going to share with you my answer if you're applying for the leadership position. And I'm also going to ask you to provide your answer for the individual contributor role. For example, if you're applying for leadership position, I recommend that you choose choice C and choice A. Choice C, I like to take responsibility for my team, would represent the answer that best describes you. Your actual justification for this choice may sound like this. As a leader, I thrive on guiding and supporting my team towards success. I believe that fostering a collaborative and empowering work environment where individuals can grow and excel. Taking responsibility for my team means ensuring their development, providing guidance when needed, and creating a cohesive and motivated group that can achieve outstanding results. The statement that describes you the least might be choice A, and choice A states, I should have all the information needed before making the decision. The justification for the answer might be, while I value the thoughtfulness and informed decision-making, as a leader, I understand that time-sensitive situations may require making decisions with limited information. I am comfortable relying on my experience, intuition, and the input of trusted team members to make timely decisions while considering the available information. I'm also open to adjusting decisions as more information becomes available to ensure the best possible outcomes. Now, what do you think the answer should be for the individual contributor role? Please make sure to post your answer, recommendation, and justification in comments of this video so we can all learn. I love this question because it tests candidates' ability to prioritize as well as candidates' leadership skills. You're presented with the question where you need to select 2 statements. One statement that best describes you and another that describes you the least. The 4 possible answers to this question would be A. I can organize my work schedule by myself. Choice B. I work even better when everything goes wrong. Choice C. I think small details are important. And last but not least, choice D. I like to be best player on my team. Take a close look to see if you can come up with two answers. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Let's first look at the important considerations on how you can select the right answer. There are three important considerations here, and they all fall into one category: job relevance. You need to consider the requirements and responsibilities of the role you're applying for. Number two, you need to think about how each statement relates to the demands of the position. And last but not least, number three, you need to choose the statement that demonstrates a good fit for the job and showcases qualities that would be beneficial for the specific context. Let's take a look at how you would select the right answer in the specific categories. Let's start by looking at the choice A. I can organize my work schedule by myself. If you choose this answer, it would show that you're a self-structured person that could work independently. Choice B, I work even better when everything goes wrong, shows your stress tolerance, your ability to work in stressful and unpredictable situations. Choice C, I think small details are important, would show your level of attention to details that could be important for jobs such as accounting, programming, controller, and other jobs that require attention to details. And last but not least, choice D, I like to be the best player on my team, shows how competitive you are. This is a good choice for the sales position, but could be a problematic choice for the manager roles. Let's look at the examples of the choices that best describe me. One of the choices that you might select would be choice A. I can organize my work schedule by myself. I'm a very disciplined person. I can independently prioritize different tasks, and I can take responsibility of the results of my job. I prefer to organize my work schedule by myself without over-attention from managers. I can be much more productive by working in this way. This is why I selected the choice A. I can organize my work schedule by myself. Now let's look at the choice that least describes you and considerations you might consider providing. For that statement, I selected choice D. I like to be the best player on my team. Of course, I want to show off my skills and I want results be fairly evaluated. But I understand the importance of teamwork for good results. And in this way, I can do a back office job when it's necessary. I will put overall results of my team in the first place, even if it's temporarily slows down my own results and my progress. Do you have any other suggestions on how you can answer this type of questions? Please make sure to post them in comments so we can all learn. In this section, we will look at Microsoft Excel questions frequently used in a test. Microsoft Excel test is a standardized assessment designed to measure an individual's proficiency in using this powerful spreadsheet software application. This test assesses a candidate's knowledge and skills in various Excel functions, formulas, data manipulation, formatting, and data analysis. It is commonly used by employers during the hiring process to determine a candidate's level of Excel proficiency. This assessment typically includes a variety of Excel tasks and exercises that range from basic to more advanced functionalities within Microsoft Excel. These tasks might involve creating and formatting spreadsheets, performing calculations using formulas and functions, managing data sets, creating charts and graphs, and demonstrating an understanding of data analysis techniques. Let's look at some sample Microsoft Excel test questions we typically see on the test. Here's an amazing question which is frequently used for analyst Excel assessment test. Steve is analyzing the data set of sales transactions, which has gaps in data after system crash. Which formula should he use to determine the number of all revenue-generating transactions? And you're presented with the data set as well as 4 different choices. Choice A, count A2 through A11. Choice B, count A and then the ranges E2 through E11. Choice C, count blank and then in parentheses data set D2 through D11. And last but not least, count if C2 through C11 and then star in quotes. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. What's interesting about this question is that all answers will generate the output, so there are no errors that will be generated. But to answer this question, you need to solve the business problem. And as usual, I'm going to move forward to share with you my version of the solution. And if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice B, count A for the range E2 through E11. Once we enter this formula, you can see that there are 8 records that are not blank. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And ultimately, this choice B, will count the number of non-blank cells in the revenue column. Since the revenue column contains the total revenue generated by each transaction, the result of this formula will be equal to the number of transactions for which revenue was generated. And this particular formula will help us answer the question, how many transactions actually generated the revenue? Now let's look at other choices to better understand why they are incorrect. Choice A, where formula is used, is count, and the ranges A2 through E11. There are 9 values counted as a result of this formula. And in fact, this formula will count the number of non-blank cells in the ID column. Since each transaction has a unique ID, the result of this formula will help us answer the question, how many valid transactions were there in total? Now let's look at choice C, count blank, for the range D2 through D11. This formula returns value of 1. And this is absolutely correct, because this formula counts the number of blank cells in the quantity column. And it helps us answer the question, how many transactions had no units sold? And last but not least is choice D, count if, for the range C2 through C11 with the star in quotes. This formula returns the value of 9. And in fact, this is absolutely correct, because this formula counts the number of cells in the product column that contain certain text. Since the wildcard was used, which star represents wildcard, all transactions with non-blank product values will be counted. This is why this formula is helpful to answer business question, how many transactions have non-blank product values? Do you have any other solutions or considerations? Please make sure to share them in comments so we can all learn. Here's an interesting question to test your knowledge of Excel formulas and functions. June is a small business owner, and she recorded her sales figures in an Excel spreadsheet. She needs to calculate total sales for 2022. Which of the following formulas will calculate the total sales correctly? You're presented with the snapshot of data from Microsoft Excel, and you need to select one out of 4 possible choices. Choice A equals sum B3 through B6. Choice B equals add, and then in parentheses B3 through B6. Choice C equals total, and then in parentheses B3 through B6. And last but not least, choice D equals product, and then in parentheses equals B3 minus B6. Do you know the answer? I have full confidence that you can quickly solve this challenge. And I'm going to move forward to share with you my answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to share in comments. To solve this challenge, you need to understand the data and know Microsoft Excel formulas and functions. As you might have figured out, the correct answer here is choice A equals sum, and then in parentheses range B3 through B6. Sum function in Excel adds up the range of numbers. And to calculate the total sales for 2022, we need to add up all the sales figures for all quarters in 2022. As you can see, column B represents the sales data for 2022, and rows 3 through 6 represent quarterly sales. Now we know that the correct answer is choice A equals sum, and then in parentheses cell B3 through B6. Let's look at why other options are incorrect. Option B, add values B3 through B6, is not a valid Excel formula. Option C, total B3 through B6, is also not a valid Excel formula. And choice product B3 minus B6 will multiply the values in the range B3 through B6 together, and it will not give you the total sales for 2022. In fact, if you looked at the choice D, the values supplied is not even a range. It's the difference between the values of B3 and B6, because we're supplying only one argument, which is the result of mathematical operation B3 minus B6. And in fact, the output of this function, product B3 minus B6, will be negative, because it's a result of a subtraction of 337 minus 439, and the end result will be negative 101.91. Do you have any other thoughts or considerations about this question? Please make sure to share them in comments. Here's an amazing question to test your knowledge of frequently used Microsoft Excel functions. Lakshmi needs to determine the smallest quarterly sales amount for 2023. Which of the following formulas can she use in Microsoft Excel to accomplish this? You're presented with the snippet of data, and you have 4 different choices to choose from. Formula min, and then you have values in parentheses, table B3 through table E6. Choice B, min fs, and then value in parentheses B3 through E6. Choice C, min A, B3 through E6 in parentheses, and last but not least, choice D, min B3 through E6. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the solution. On my end, I'm going to jump to Microsoft Excel to share with you my version, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice D, using min function and then in parentheses supplying argument B3 through E6. To understand the answer, let's look at the data. We have source data for quarterly sales located in the range B3 through E6. We have 4 salespeople on the left, and then we have quarterly sales represented in the row 2. Min function returns the minimum value in the range of cells, and it can be used to determine the smallest quarterly amount for 2023. Since the formula is correct and the range of cells selected is correct, min function will calculate the smallest amount, and smallest amount is equals to 153.11. To reinforce the knowledge, let's also look at the incorrect answers to better understand why they are incorrect. Choice A is incorrect because it does not return the valid results. Let's try it. You see that the syntax is not correct. Choice B, min ifs function, sends the incorrect number of arguments into the function and thus generates an error. You've entered too few arguments for this function. Choice C, on the other hand, min A function, has too many arguments and doesn't return any results. So the correct choice here is choice D, when we use the min function to find the smallest sales. Do you have any other suggestions? Please make sure to post them in comments. Here's an interesting question to test how well you know average formula as well as its variations. Isabella is trying to calculate the average new wave sales across all the regions. Which formula should she select? You're presented with the data set as well as 4 different choices. Choice A, average formula and parameters to supply C2 through C10. Choice B, average A formula and parameters supplied are C2 through C10. Choice C, average if formula and the values are C2 through C10 and the second parameters is greater than 0. And last but not least is average if S, and then as the arguments you see the range C2 through C10, second argument is range A2 through A10, third argument is not equal to D, fourth argument B2 through B10, and the last argument is not equals to south. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the right answer. And on my end, I am going to jump to Excel to show you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, the correct answer is choice A. All you need to do is type the average formula and then select the data set C2 through C10 to calculate the average sales value for all the regions. What's interesting about choice B is that technically it is also a correct answer. Average A with the range C2 through C10 will also calculate the average sales, but it includes all the values in the range, even if they have text or errors. In this case, since all values in the range are numbers, the 2 functions, choice A and choice B, will give you the same result. What's interesting is that option C, average if with the values C2 through C10 and second parameter greater than 0, calculates the average of all sales that are greater than 0 and gives you the same result. But it's not a recommended option because the end result may not always be the same as average of all sales. And the last choice, option D, average if S with all the parameters that we supply, calculates the average sales for all products and regions, except for the product soda and accept the values in the South region. This is more specific calculation than the average of all sales and does not represent the right answer. Did this question trigger some thoughts or considerations in your mind? Please make sure to share in comments so we can all learn. And now, here's the practice question for you. In this question, I'm not gonna give you the answer, but instead, I'm gonna ask you to post your solution in comments so I can give you my feedback. June is a small business owner, and she recorded her sales figures in Excel spreadsheet. She needs to calculate total sales for 2022. Which of the following formulas will calculate the sales correctly? You're presented with the data set and 4 different choices. Formulas are sum, add, total, and product, and they point to the range B3 through B6. Take a close look to see if you can answer the business question. And once ready, make sure to post your answer in comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's the very interesting question to test your knowledge of rounding in Microsoft Excel. Technology startup company sent 46 members for an off-site training. At the training facility, they were organized into 7 member groups. Which Excel formula do you need to use to calculate number of teams with all members, ignoring any remainders? You're presented with 4 different choices. Choice A, divide cell A2 by B2. Choice B, you use round down formula and supply A2 divided by B2 as a first argument, and as a second argument you supply 0. Choice C, you use round formula and then supply A2 divided by B2, and second argument you supply as 0. And last but not least, you use round up formula, and then in parentheses you supply division of A2 by B2 and second argument as 0. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Because on my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, or have any other feedback or suggestions, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice B, round down. And the reason is because to solve this challenge, we need to use Excel formula which rounds the number down to the nearest integer. To simulate this scenario in Microsoft Excel, let's use round down formula. And you can see that it rounds a number down towards 0. And then let's supply arguments A2 divided by B2. And the second argument, which indicates how many digits we're rounding down to, would be 0. And then you see that the number of full-size teams is 6. If you don't trust Excel like I do, let's confirm the calculations by dividing the cell A2 by B2 without using any formulas, and you see that the number here that was calculated is 6.5714, and the full number is 6, which meets our criteria for original question. Do you have a better solution? Please make sure your version and rationale in comments. In this section, we will look at Microsoft Word assessment test questions, which evaluate candidates' proficiency and skills in using this widely used Microsoft Office application. Word assessment test aims to determine candidates' familiarity with the software itself, including its various features, tool and formatting options. Let's look at some sample Microsoft Word assessment test questions we typically see on the test. Here's the thought-provoking assessment test question. In addition to boosting your reasoning skills, it teaches you the skill that you can use regularly. You need to gather the data and information from multiple different sources, like emails, web pages, spreadsheets, and documents. Which feature of Microsoft Word should you use to complete this task? And you're presented with 5 possible choices. Choice A, paste link. Choice B, paste special. Choice C, paste merged content. Choice D, paste multiple. And last but not least, choice E, paste append. Take a close look to see if you can recognize the right feature of Microsoft Word. Are you ready to uncover the mystery? Let's move on so I can share how I cracked the solution. And if you got a unique methods or better way, I'd love to hear it. Don't forget to share your approach in the comments below. Let's reveal the solution now. And as usual, to find the right solution, we will assess each answer choice that has been presented. Let's start with the first choice on the list. As you might have guessed, choice A, paste link, is incorrect. Paste link is used to insert a link to content copied from another location. not to collect the data and information from various sources. Choice B, paste special, is also incorrect. Paste special allows you to choose specific formatting or data types when pasting content, but it's not the appropriate feature to collect data from various sources. Both choices C, paste merged content, and choice E, paste append, are not correct options either. Both of them are not the standard features of Microsoft Word and are not relevant for collecting data from various sources. Which leads us to correct option, choice D, paste multiple items from clipboard. This is the correct option. Paste multiple items allows you to paste multiple pieces of content that has been copied to the clipboard, making it an efficient way to collect the data and information from various sources. Let's look at how this feature works in details. For example, you might be working on the product catalog and your information is located in different sources, like this Word document, and some information might be stored in the email message you just received. You need to copy and paste multiple pieces of information into the product catalog Word file. To do this, let's check the clipboard settings by clicking on the clipboard details button. As you can see, there is nothing currently in the clipboard. Let's check the options on how we can collect the data. To do this, let's click on the options button and you see that the clipboard will collect without showing any Office clipboard. You can also choose options Show Office clipboard automatically or Show Office clipboard when Ctrl+C pressed twice. Let's copy the product description from the Word file. To do this, let's select the description and click Copy. Now let's copy product image and dimensions from the email. To do this, let's select the image and click Copy. Then let's select the dimensions and click Copy again. Now it's time to come back to our Word document. We're back to the product catalog, and as you can see, there are 3 items in the clipboard now. We can paste them one by one. Let's put the cursor where the description is and select on the description to paste it. Now let's move to the dimensions section and we can paste the dimensions in here. And last but not least piece is the image. We put it as the first item in the product catalog. The only thing is left is to change how the image is shown. We click on the layout options and select the tight option for the text wrapping. Here's the very stimulating assessment test question. It boosts your analytical skills and enhances your ability to approach complex problems using Microsoft tools very effectively. You need to create a report by selecting specific short snippets of content from larger Microsoft Word document and adding them into the report. Which word feature is the most effective for this task? You're presented with 5 possible choices. Choice A, styles and headings. Choice B, navigation pane. Choice C, spike. Choice D, find and replace. And last but not least, choice E, table of content. Take a close look, analyze the question, and select your answer. Are you ready to compare solutions? Awesome! Let's now transition into revealing the answer. I'll share with you my take on the solution, and if you come up with the different or perhaps more efficient approach, feel free to drop it in comments below. Let's explore the solution together. To get to the correct answer, let's review each presented option individually. Let's start with the option A, styles and headings. As you might have guessed, this is an incorrect option. While styles and headings are useful for formatting and structuring a document, they don't involve selection and reallocation of specific content, making them less effective for this particular task. For very similar reasons, choice B, navigation pane, is also incorrect. The navigation pane is helpful for browsing and organizing the document, but unfortunately this option does not specifically involve cutting and pasting of selecting content, making it less suitable for the task described. Choice D, find and replace, is also incorrect. The find and replace option in Microsoft Word is used to search for specific text and replace it with other text. But this option does not involve the selection and relocation of content. And as you might have guessed, choice E, table of content, is also incorrect. Table of content is a very useful feature in Microsoft Word, and it is used for creating an organized list of headings and subheadings in a document. But unfortunately, it is not intended for selecting and moving specific content within the document. Which leads us to choice C, spike, which I believe is correct. Spike is an unknown feature in Microsoft Word which represents a storage similar to clipboard. The storage is designed to cut multiple blocks of text or other content and paste them elsewhere in the document or into another Microsoft Word file. I think this is an efficient tool for selecting a specific content and organizing it within the report. Let's take a close look to see how Spike feature works. You're presented with the text that contains multiple paragraphs. You reviewed the text and you determined that selective sentences in this text are very good content for the future report. To select the text for the report, you need to select it and then click Ctrl F3. This cuts the text and puts it into the Spike. Let's do it for a couple other sentences that might be useful for the report. We select the second sentence and click again Ctrl F3, and then another sentence and click Ctrl F3. Now let's switch to a new Microsoft Word document so we can paste the content. There are multiple ways to paste it. Let's go to Insert tab, then navigate to Quick Parts, Auto Text, and this is where you see the content of the Spike, and by clicking it, you will paste it directly into the new file. Let's undo this action, and I'll show you the quick shortcut that allows you to do the same thing. You can click Ctrl-Shift-F3, and it will paste the text directly by using the shortcut in the keyboard. So the correct answer here is choice C, using Spike feature of Microsoft Word. If you came up with the different or perhaps more efficient approach, feel free to drop it in comments so we can all learn. Let me share with you a tricky question we see on the test more and more often. To prepare a sample file for an employee training session, you need to generate unique text for each student in the class using Microsoft Word. What is the best way to do it? And you're presented with 5 different options. Choice A, use word formula. Choice B, copy and paste. Choice C, auto text and building blocks. Choice D, autocorrect. And last but not least, choice E, mail merge. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Tricky question, don't you think so? Well, I think I know what my answer is going to be, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments so we can all learn. To answer this question, let's analyze all the options to understand why they might be incorrect. Let's start by looking at option B, copy and paste. It is true that you can generate new text by copying content from another document or another source, for example, website or another Word document, and then pasting it into your Word document. You can use Ctrl-C to copy and Ctrl-V to paste. However, this option is not ideal for generating unique text for each student and may pose copyright issues. I think option C, auto text and building blocks, is also incorrect. Microsoft Word has a feature called auto text. It is also called building blocks in the new versions. And this feature allows you to store and insert frequently used text or context snippets with just a few clicks. While it can be convenient for inserting predefined text, it does not generate unique text for each student. Choice D, autocorrect, is also not a good choice. Autocorrect is the feature that corrects common misspellings and can be used to create shortcuts for longer phrases. But unfortunately, it does not generate unique text for each student. I think mail merge is also incorrect. Mail merge is useful for generating customized documents by merging data from spreadsheet or database into predefined templates. However, it's not suitable for generating unique text for each student for the training session. Which brings us to option A, use word formula. Microsoft Word has a formula called RAND, and if you type it and hit enter, by default it will generate 5 paragraphs of 3 sentences each. This cool feature is also called placeholder text. The generated text is localized for your language selection. What's interesting is that the text is localized for your language selection on your computer. To customize your text, you type RAND and enter number of paragraphs and number of sentences, and then hit enter. For example, if you type RAND 7,5, it will generate the text for 7 paragraphs with 5 sentences each. You can also use lorem function to generate non-localized pseudo-Latin text in Microsoft Word. What's amazing about this question is that you will not just learn the answer, but you will also learn about new features of the application. Here's the question. You're collaborating with colleagues to create the final version of Microsoft Word document. Multiple versions of text exist, and you want to preserve each version. Which word feature is the most effective for this task? And you're presented with 5 possible choices. Choice A, File Properties. Choice B, Hide Text. Choice C, Document Comparison. Choice D, Comments. And last but not least, Choice E, Track Changes. Take a close look to see if you can answer this question. I think I know what my answer is going to be, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have thoughts or different feedback or suggestions, please make sure to post them in comments. To get to the correct answer, let's analyze each option to determine if it is correct. Let's start by looking at choice A, File Properties. I think using the Properties features in Word, you can add version information, comments, or other metadata to the document's file properties. I think this is a helpful feature to manage different versions of the document, but it does not preserve the text itself. So I think this is an incorrect choice. Let's look at choice C, Document Comparison. I think this choice is also incorrect. Microsoft Word offers a built-in document comparison feature, which allows you to compare 2 versions of the document and highlight differences between them. While this is helpful for tracking changes, it doesn't directly preserve multiple versions of the text within the same document. I think choice D, Comments, is also incorrect. You can insert comments at specific points in the document to provide feedback or suggestions. Comments serve as annotations, but don't preserve distinct versions of the text itself. And I hope it doesn't come to you as a surprise that choice E, Track Changes, is also incorrect. This feature of Microsoft Word records edits made by collaborations and facilitates reviewing and accepting or rejecting changes. It does help with version control, but it does not inherently preserve multiple versions of the text for the future reference. This brings us to the answer of choice B, Hide Text. What's interesting, Microsoft Word allows you to hide the text, making it appear as if it isn't there while preserving it for the later use. This feature is very useful when you want to maintain different versions of content within the same document, and it also applies to images and embedded components. There is one limitation of this function because it's available in Word on the desktop, but not in Word Online or Word apps for Android or iOS. Because hiding the text is such a useful feature, let's take a look how you can use it in more details. Let's assume that you're editing this text and you're not happy with the text in this paragraph. What you can do, you can select the text, click the details in the font section of the ribbon, and click Hidden to hide this text. If you have the image in your text, you can hide it in the same way. You just select the text and the image, or just the image, navigate to the Font Properties section, and click Hidden. To unhide it, you follow the opposite steps. Click on the Properties. To view hidden text, you click on the Show Hide button in the ribbon. As you can see, the text that we hide is underlined with the dotted line. This is the example of the hidden text, as well as this is also an example of the hidden text with the image. What's cool is that you can use Word's Find and Replace option to search for the hidden text. You click on the Replace button, and then you click on More. Here, in Format section, you select the font, and here you select Find Hidden Text. Then you click Find Next, and Word keeps searching for the hidden text. What's cool is that Word also allows you to delete all hidden text at once, for example, before you send out the final version of the document. To do this, you navigate to the File, Info, and then check for Issues, and select Inspect Document. Here in the section, you can specifically select items you're looking for, but also focus on the hidden text, which would inspect the document for the text that has been formatted as hidden. So I believe the correct answer here is choice B, Hide Text. In cases where you need to track changes, obtain feedback, or manage versions, features like track changes or comments may be more appropriate. But in this particular case, for maintaining different versions within a single document while keeping them hidden until needed, Hide Text is a very cool and effective option. Do you disagree? If you do, please make sure to share your thoughts, solution, and rationale in comments. Let's dive into this captivating assessment test question. By working through this, you will improve your ability to think logically and make sound decisions in Microsoft Word. As a marketing manager, For United States-based company, you are customizing Microsoft Word-based catalog for European distribution. What is the most efficient way to convert units of measure, like inches, pounds, and others, to the metric format in Microsoft Word? You're presented with 5 possible answers. Choice A, formulas. Choice B, using functions. Choice C, using autocorrect. Choice D, equations. And last but not least, choice E, cross-reference. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Let's go ahead and transition into showcasing the solution. I'm about to share how I approach the question. And if you got the better methods, or maybe brilliant alternative, make sure to share it in comments. Let's examine each provided answer option to identify the accurate solution. Let's start with the option A. I think formulas are used for mathematical calculations, but they are not the most efficient way to convert units of measure to the metric format in Microsoft Word. In fact, formulas typically involve arithmetic operations and are not designed for unit conversion. Choice B, function, is also incorrect. The term function in this context is vague and doesn't directly relate to converting units of measure to the metric format. It does not align with the most efficient methods for this specific task. I think choice D, equation, is also incorrect. Equations in Microsoft Word are used for mathematical or algebraic expressions. While they can handle unit conversions theoretically, they are not designed for the specific tasks of converting units of measure to the metric format. And I hope you're not surprised that choice E, cross-reference, is also incorrect. Cross-referencing is a tool used to link and refer to specific content within the document, such as figures, tables, or headings. It is unrelated to converting units of measure to the metric format. This analysis leads us to choice C, autocorrect. Microsoft Word's autocorrect feature can be used to automatically correct and replace predefined abbreviations or symbols with their corresponding metric units. This is an extremely efficient way to convert units of measure to the metric format. To access Measurement Converter, you need to navigate to Word Options and then click on Proofing. Here you need to click on Autocorrect Options and navigate to Actions. Once you click OK on all of these changes and then select the dimensions 5 inches, additional menu item becomes available, which is represented by additional actions. So now you can convert 5 inches into 12.7 centimeters. Similar functionality becomes available on the weight category. You select 0.37 pounds, navigate to additional actions, and you can convert them to 0.17 kilograms. In this section, we will look at the most common customer service test questions we typically see on the test. A customer service test is a type of assessment used by employers to evaluate candidates' customer service skills, abilities, and aptitude for dealing with customers. Customer service test assesses various aspects of customer service, such as communication skills, problem-solving abilities, empathy, and professionalism. The typical purpose of the customer service test is to determine candidates' potential for delivering high-quality customer service and their fit for a customer-facing role. This test helps employers to assess how well a candidate can handle customer interactions, resolve issues, and represent the customer in a positive manner. Let's look at some sample customer service test questions we typically see on the test. Here's a truly amazing question which tests your customer service skills. As a retail store worker, imagine you're carrying a big basket of fresh fruits. Suddenly, a customer comes up to you and asks where she can find a coffee. Which response would be the best way to handle the situation? You're presented with 4 possible choices. Choice A, politely walk past the customer without saying anything because you need to replenish the fruits in the store shelves. Choice B, gently put down the basket of fruits and show the customer where the coffee is located. Choice C, explain to the customer verbally where she can find the coffee. And then last but not least, choice D, request the customer to wait and come back to her after you finish dealing with the fruits. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Tricky question, don't you think so? But I'm sure by now you already know the answer, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The most important thing in this types of question is not just to pick the answer, but have a rationale and strategy on how to answer them. I used 4 customer service principles to answer this question. Number 1 principle is responding promptly to customer inquiries and needs is crucial in delivering excellent customer service. Second principle is that offering direct customer assistance, such as guiding the customer to the product they're seeking, shows attentiveness and care. Number 3 principle I used is prioritizing and addressing the customer request immediately, demonstrate that their needs are essential and respected. And number 4 principle is that ensuring the customer feels attended to and valued enhances their overall shopping experience. Now let's look at the choices which I was able to eliminate using these 4 principles. I eliminated choice A, silently walk past the customer because you need to upgrade the fruits in the store. This choice is incorrect because it neglects customer request and it does not address her needs, resulting in poor customer service. It also allowed me to eliminate choice C, explain to the customer verbally where she can find the coffee. Obviously, providing verbal information is helpful, but option C does not acknowledge the importance of assisting the customer hands-on, which can have a more positive impact on her shopping experience. And last but not least, choice D, request the customer to wait and come back to her after you finish dealing with the fruit, was eliminated because this choice is not ideal. It delays addressing the customer request and may lead her feeling ignored and unimportant during her shopping journey. Excellent customer service involves being responsive and attentive to customer needs promptly. This leads us to the choice B as a final answer. Choice B, gently put down the basket of fruits and show the customer where the coffee is located. As a retail store worker, providing excellent customer service is essential. By politely setting aside the basket of fruits and guiding the customer to coffee section, you offer immediate assistance and show that you value her needs. This approach makes the customer feel attended to and helps her find what she is looking for promptly. Did you come up with the different answer? If you did, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments so we can all learn. Here's an interesting question to see how well you would deal with customer service inquiries. A customer is upset because her favorite pizza is currently unavailable. What is the best way to respond? And you're presented with 4 possible choices. Choice A, tell the customer to speak with the manager to resolve the issue. Choice B, offer the customer an alternative pizza option. Choice C, inform the customer that you will check if the desired pizza is in stock. And last but not least, choice D, state that handling this matter is not within your responsibility. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? If not, please make sure to pause this video to see if you can come up with the answers, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to resolve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, this question is not about picking one of the choices. This question is about fundamental customer service principles and how you use them to answer this particular question. You also want to make sure to mention all these principles when you're answering this question in person. So what are those principles? There are 4 of them. Number 1 is acknowledging the customer's disappointment. Because her favorite pizza is not available and you show empathy, this shows your understanding of her feelings. Number 2 principle is providing an immediate alternative option, which shows responsiveness and commitment to helping the customer promptly. Number 3 principle is taking responsibility for finding a solution, which exemplifies ownerships and dedication for you to help resolve customer issue. And last but not least is the principle of offering an alternative. In this case, you can offer alternative pizza, which would demonstrate a proactive approach to addressing the customer concern and finding a suitable resolution. Based on these 4 principles, let's look at the incorrect answers and why you might avoid selecting them. Choice A, tell the customer to speak with the manager to resolve the issue. Using this selection passes the responsibility to the manager and may make customer feel ignored and dismissed, and it is important to take initiative and attempt to assist the customer directly. Choice C, inform the customer that you will check if the desired pizza is in stock, is a good choice. But this is not the best choice. While this response shows some willingness to help, it may leave the customer waiting for the solution. Offering an immediate alternative is a more proactive approach. And last incorrect choice is choice D. State that handling this matter is not within your responsibility. Telling the customer that it's not your responsibility can come across as unhelpful and may lead to further dissatisfaction. You should strive to assist the customer as much as possible within your capacity. So as you might have figured out, I believe that the correct answer to this question is choice B, offer an alternative pizza option. By offering an alternative pizza option, you address the customer's disappointment and demonstrate willingness to help. In addition to the suggestion, you can also offer to search for her favorite pizza flavors in competitor brands. This approach helps turn a negative situation into a positive one, where you learn more about the customer and find the proactive solution as possible suitable alternative. What do you think about this question? Do you agree with this solution? Do you have a better way to solve it? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you for helping us to become one of the largest YouTube channels to help people become smarter, increase your IQ, and to pass any test. If the content of this video was helpful, please make sure to click the like button to help YouTube algorithm promote this video and help other people to find it faster. Giving us a like is also a way for you to tell us that you need more content like this, and when you tell us, we will deliver it for you in the future. For links to free and premium resources, please check the description and comments of this video. You can also go directly to our website, howtoanalyzedata.net, to download the materials related to this topic. I really appreciate your endorsement, support, and patronage of this channel. And thank you for considering to become a member and considering to subscribe. Please leave feedback, suggestions, or corrections in comments. And all the best on your journey. I'll see you in my next video.